Okay. All right. Welcome, guys. Just a moment. Welcome, guys. We're still waiting for the others, but yeah, we're just starting now. We're just gonna be reviewing the game that has just ended. Unfortunately, we fell short. It was a game of small margins as usual. Football is a game of small margins. You have to take your chances. You have to select well and everything. So yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. Okay, Carlos, go on. What was your take on the selection and how we started? Yeah, can hear you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, go on, Ray.
Can you guys hear me? My
Ray,
connection
Kelvin, can you hear us?
is a bit. Are we good?
Okay.
OJ, are we good?
Yeah, we're good. Go on, Ray. What's your
Right.
take?
My take is this. Look, it's at the end of the day, Anditika, it's the coach's discretion on who plays, on who starts, who plays, right? And if you look at that, the coach started with Msendami and T1. I'll call Maswanhise said T1 and Chirewa T2. He started with T1 and T2. Sorry, and Msendami. They did what they were meant to do. Yeah, they were taking on the defenders, and the South African defenders knew who Msendami was. They knew Maswanhise, right? But where I feel, look, this coach, the setup, everything was good. Look, I'm not going to say take anything away. Let's give credit where it's due. Everything was good and set. But today, Divine Lunga was in another bubble. I don't know, did Mackenzie threaten him or something? Because those mistakes. Okay, the first one, I don't blame him because you see, as a defender, you're trying to shield from, where the shot is coming from. It ricocheted off him. It happens. That header, I don't know what he was thinking of, going to the keeper. You see, on that header, there are two issues here. One, it's him trying to go back to the keeper and not making sure the ball gets there. Two, the keeper being flat-footed, not seeing it coming, and then trying to have a first-time hold of the ball, punch the ball away. Why was he trying to hold it? First time holding it. And then the Maswanhise goal. We've always said this kid is scoring for fun to Scotland. And it's not a fluke that he's scoring. He's scoring because he's got the ability. And when he took that ball, went on that run, wiped the first guy, made Bokazi go for Peter, didn't come back, didn't even think about him. The rest were just there because they fell victim because Bokazi, their trusted guy, was sent for Peter. That goal speaks volume. We need to talk about that goal for some time to come. That kid is who he is. And then the master stroke. You see, when we're chatting on the chat WhatsApp, I said we need a target man. And Slouis was saying, why Bonnie? And I said, we need the target man. You give the ball, he controls it or he lays it off to the next player coming. You need players that are thinking like that can run to that layoff. And when he put in T2, we need to be seeing what these boys are doing. Chirewa is who he thinks he is. Yes, Louis. Chirewa is who he thinks he is. Abana, you see, that boy's got this thing about him. And he goes on pride, and let him do that. Because if you take that away from him, he loses his game. When he came in, you can see what he was doing. And when he became the target man, you could see what these boys are doing. The Boni, when he lays it off to these guys who are running. And Chirewa and the two T's were doing most of the running. And then let's go back to my guy in defense, Gerald Takwara. I'm back again with the Nenye Takwara. Whatever he lacks in terms of pace, Takwara makes it with heart. Takwara is a soldier. Takwara ndo masoja aya varume akanyorwa pamatoilets. Musoja. Takwara will tell you kuti ndakunopinda apo kapo. Before he can even say anything, he's already there. Takwara was solid. And then I said before, and then I was attacked for being a tribalist when I said Dube is not better than Galloway. You remember that, OJ? I said that long time ago. And I was told, and you tried to defend me. And I tried to explain that I can't be tribalist. My mother is in Ndebele. I can't be tribalist. But who right now is going to tell me right now, Kuti, Dube should start before Galloway? I want to know right now. Hapana. Because Galloway has proved that he is the man that's supposed to be playing there.
Yeah.
The team overall, this coach, personally, yes, we called him a plumber, we called him names, but this coach deserves a chance. What we're seeing today, this coach deserves a chance. The most important a point to be taken from today is that one, Marvelous Nakamba should not come back. Two, he should never be a captain because we have Jonah Fabish. I don't know what people want Jonah Fabish to do for that boy to get his flowers, for people to realize this kid is what we've been waiting for that defense midfield role. This kid, Anos so he sees, he tells other players with end up, and you know, this boy is thinking, he's walking, thinking football. But captain Veda Gavadzokera wanotrai kutsvaga jezi kuLuton uko, because that ball, I don't know what he was doing there or why he did that. But you see, these guys need to start going one by one. They need to start going. It's their time. Thank you for your service. You need to go. Don't come back. And then Prodigy. Let me talk about Prodigy. For AFCON, Akusquet development, you develop a player by making him play under 15, 17, 18 Achuya. And then the other issue, I'll tell you why this kid is not a prodigy. Because at 16, 17 years old, Peter Ndlovu was Soccer Star of the Year. Before he left for the UK, he played half a season. He was Soccer Star of the Year. So when we tell you Kuti prodigy chi, do not argue. Mbana Wiko, he's okay. He's okay. But I want to show you Kuti has driver for this level. Bora rapo rabamba aritarisa rikabamba ka 2. Anditka. If it was someone an instinct yekugwesa paipai dararo chigunyu richangobamba kekutanga paipai. You understand? This kid, he let him go back kusai dzake ambonofushara kusai dzake ozodzoka. You understand? I have nothing against the kid. He could be something big within the future. But for now, we want people who ball. One ballers, but overall take, we need to give this plumber a chance. Because the boys are playing well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. This one is not a plumber, it's a mechanic, as the people are saying. And thank you. We've got some new faces who have come up. We've got Coach Franz. I was just speaking to him earlier on. He's a sports scientist. So we have more people who speak meaningful stats. And then we have Cancelo, young man Tino, welcome. Bolas, welcome. Slimy, welcome. Malcolm, welcome. He has Tokwara and Senior Oliver, welcome. So Cancelo, I'm coming to you. Can you just give us a breakdown of our lineup, how we're lining up, and why you think the coach could have done that?
OJ, I will let the Madala speak first. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Kelvin, are you ready?
Respect, young
Kelvin,
man.
Yeah, I'm traveling, so but I can hear you.
Okay. Can you give us a breakdown, just a breakdown of the game, tactical setup, how we set up, and why we did that?
The thing I would say is, which you're used to now, to look at the game without putting too much emotions into it, and try to be as objective as I can. And I'm going to start by saying I know there's going to be a lot of stuff, about being said, about players, about the coach, about everything. Yeah. But I look at it in this way because I'm a realist. Yeah. To have assembled the side that he assembled, coach has made mistakes, players have made mistakes, but I'm actually hurt that we lost the game, but I'm not disheartened. And I wouldn't normally say this about Zimbabwe because you know where we've come from, but I think the bottom line is I'm looking at it and I think we've got a better future. And obviously there's players who are in there who probably have had their last run, but we also have very exciting players who, with more time, with in the setup with the coach as well, really trying to implement, his style, not just this 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Anyone who's played football. In fact, I'm not going to even going to say anyone who's played football. Anyone who's worth their soul when it comes to football would know that you can never, ever, ever have an identity and put it into place and become second nature to players in 4 weeks, 5, 6 weeks. It does not happen. Zimbabwe was never going to have a real identity like that you would expect of South Africa. So to do what we have done and to be disappointed with how we feel like now is actually a good thing, because it shows that in among all the lack of identity, we actually have players who can, when they really put together, will do okay. Will do okay, because look at it today. What's the most thing, that's hurting us more? These were unforced errors. You want rookies to make those mistakes, but it was unfortunately the senior players where they should be thinking, you know what, this game is not one way I take any risk. Oh, and they did take risk. So it's when it comes to setup, and I felt that the coach was very bold. That was a bold, a lineup, to have those 4 offensive, players in there, and then have, Jonah and Mabe sitting in there. It didn't quite work out, because I think the ball retention was a bit of a problem, simply because South Africa, we were struggling to get, to them. The main reason being the issue that we've had, in the past games, we are too far apart of each other, too far apart, of each other. We're not compact at all. We play a formation that should be compact, but we're not compact because the gap, that the midfielders are having to go into, say, even if you want to start a press, from up front, it's just too big. It's just too big, You're finding Mave and Jonah again. You found them sitting too deep, and we'll struggle. We'll struggle with that. But as the game went on, and sometimes as well, with the goal as well, can lift up, lads, a little bit. The one thing that we had in that side, we had NH. Where we needed the NH sometimes, it actually worked. But overall, I was always worried about our midfield because it just didn't look, again, it didn't look like, but like a well-balanced midfield.
Okay.
Our midfield should be playing.
Sorry, Kev, I think your sound is going. Yeah. I think we'll catch you a little bit later.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'll pass where I am now, because I think I'm losing network here. So someone come in, then I'll continue.
Okay. All right. Au, you're the defensive guru. You've been a goalkeeper. What was happening in terms of goalkeeping. What happened with that mistake or the mix-ups that happened for most of our goals?
Okay. Yeah, where do I start? Let's talk about that mistake by the first goal by Lunga.
We are
Lunga went
losing
into
you
block.
out. Is it just me?
You can't hear me, or I'm low?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay, I'll start on the first mistake that was made by Lunga. He went into block. That one is a natural mistake that happens. When you go into block, sometimes you don't catch the ball right, and then it goes underneath and goes over the keeper. You see, what I would have loved to see was for Arubi trying to get off his back as quickly to try and give himself a second chance of saving it. But maybe it was too fast for him, but he never bothered to try and get up. You see, you needed him to try and get up, have a second go at saving it. Stop the goal from going in by all means. Then we come to Lunga again with the ball headed back. One, it lacked pace. It wasn't a strong enough header to get to Arubi, who was further into his goal. He was closer to the line than closer to the edge of the 18-yard area. So that was one mistake on his part, on the goalkeeping part. But the ball was weak. It was a weak header, very weak header. He should have headed it with much strength to reach to the goalkeeper, but he didn't. But however, the ball had enough pace to get into the box. That's where you expect your goalkeeper to be strong. You see, keeper wakuza kudhara pataienda wakasimudza gumbo kudai so uchinobata bhora una strike. ndozvaaifanira kupinda ipapo, not exactly kuti Gumbo aigona kupa penalty, but in that case he wasn't strong enough. You can put your hands up, you get taller. See, once asvika pai, he was supposed to be forceful, but he was weak, and it resulted in the goal. When I saw him, at first I thought the ball, he was not going to get to reach the striker, but when he got behind Foster, in that moment, you have to be strong. He barely, it's like he was afraid that he was going to be head-butted in his face. So you expect a goalkeeper to be strong. So it was a mistake on the goalkeeper's part. It was a mistake on the defender's part. And then marvelous Nakamba, I don't know what he was doing on that goal. When he had, I have no idea what he was trying to do. Honestly, that late in a game, what are you doing? What are you? Why is your arm out there in the first place? And why are you even trying to make a diving header in your own box? So that one, there's no excuse for that. You see?
Yeah.
I thought during the game he started well, like defensively, like they were not sitting too deep. Him and Fabish, they were a bit further apart, further away from the back four. So I thought they started well, but then I think nekufamba kwenguva azovatanga kuneta, and then maybe that was a result here. And I was actually surprised that he was still on the pitch for that long. He should have been taken off way earlier.
Yeah.
You see, because angauragidza net anyway. But ndo panouya nyaya yatogara chitaura match fitness. The guy is not match fit. But as far as the defensive mistakes, that's what I think was happening.
All right. Maybe Oliver, are you able to just touch on our midfield?
Thank you very much. I was waiting for this opportunity. I think what Nakamba did is expected of somebody who's desperate. These guys, this game, I was not hurt like what Kelvin has actually indicated. But, it's actually, we left it too little, too late. So near yet so far. I think in all the games that we have played, it was a chance, it was in a situation whereby you could actually say, we could have won this. And in this one in particular was actually a derby. And you could actually see that people really wanted to win. And that's the reason why you find Nakamba had to do what he did. Not because he wanted to, but the emotion and everything. I think people should learn. Let's learn to forgive Nakamba and let him have a very good exit without blaming him. Yes, there was nothing that we could have done. Even a draw, still we're not going to qualify. But I feel if I'm in Mave's shoes or if I was the coach, I would feel that I've given everything. And worse off, I'm the captain. So I needed to do something. With hindsight, he didn't know that he was towards the goalpost. But Simon Antambira Luton with the VAR, he should have actually been up. He should actually have been switched on to say this is not it. But I think the first half, we managed to contain South Africa. South Africa came to us the first 10 minutes and they scored in 7 minutes. And they were very, very mobile. But we lacked somebody at the center who could actually control the center. You would actually notice that South Africa was even avoiding, was even playing from the back. Then they go to the center. From the center, they spread the wings. They had the luxury of keeping two people at the center and having Mwemunano follower after Lunga. They knew that kuna Lunga can treat Bita Ched. So I think they did their homework very well. And that being the case, I also saw that Dube was not the Dube that we expected. The first half was actually very good with Msendami trying to do one or two things, but I think the South Africans knew that Msendami was going to cause problems, and that's the reason why they were even hacking him down. But kudos to Maswanhise. He has actually proved a point beyond the expectations, the coach and everything. He has even registered himself as good. I can still play besides being called plays like a go-go, but he has played like a star. And lastly, before I give others a chance, I would like to eliminate those that should not actually come closer to our national team again for Vision 2030, starting with Lunga, Arubi, Garanganga, Takwara, I would leave him because Takwara is still, even he's old, but you could actually see the heart that he had. For me, he's the man of the tournament. Then Nakamba, thank you very much, but you played very well. Bonnie Edge will catch up with you. Chipezeze, sorry you have not been used because the DRC the last time. Dube, it's not with us. Dube, thank you very much. But the last time that we lost against AFCON, it was Dube in 30 seconds to go. Then Mudimu, I'm really sorry about that. Then Wadi, you tried last time. Murwira, thank you very much. No more singing. Musona, it's only the hamstring. Chakuchichi, you need to go to the juniors. We don't want to see you to the seniors. Start with Kosafa. If you qualify, these are the people that I think. I think Chakuchichi, yes, we want him to play, but let us not hurry to give him the glory that we think he has. So I think we'll relegate him to go down. Even Pachan, I don't think he should actually play because there are people who are playing in front of him. But overall, I think it was a very good experience. But the unfortunate thing is, this counts as 3 losses and it goes to the statistics of the coach. This is the fifth. This is the 4th loss. 4 losses and 1 win. And we're counting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Oliver. This one, I just want to go to our sports scientist today. We've got a sports scientist, Coach Franz. Is there any contribution in terms of the lack of match fitness towards some of the mistakes we saw from, for example, from Marvelous? Like maybe he's not up to scratch, so some movements that you do are a bit lazy or a bit slow, and you end up having some handballs and all.
Hey guys, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Okay, great. My name's Coach Francis. So, Ash, I'm very disappointed with Marvelous right now. I think Marvelous gave the game away there. I think if anything, that was the wrong sort of movements that he made in the box, sticking his hand out, touching the ball. That was very unnecessary. At a point where the game was a draw, he should have just trusted his goalkeeper, Washington Arubi, to say, hey, it's almost out. I think if I header it, it's obviously out, but to touch it now, that's unnecessary. For the other players, I think that they did all right, except maybe Divine Lunga. It wasn't his game today. I would have urged the coach to sub him off after 1 or 2 errors, especially after that first goal. I'd have said, "Look, coach, this guy is not having his game. You need to take him off." Maswanhise, I'd mentioned in comments on Facebook that this guy can score goals, and he banged 2 today. So I would give him a high applause for his performance today. But overall, I think Zimbabwe had that one in the bag. They just let it go by one player who was not in the game. I would not put that player back in the team, to be honest with you.
Okay, thank you. which one is that player?
May I respectfully ask you, who is that player?
Who is that player?
Well, look, guys. At this stage of the game, we've seen pictures of Frank Lampard heading the ball and the ground at the same time. There was no hands in sight. We do not expect that at this level of the game. So to now be heading the ball when it's possibly going out and sticking your hand, it's very unnecessary. We don't put that.
True.
That is not a player who's fit to win a tournament. That is not a player you need to put on your team like that. More so, he's a captain. He set a very bad example for other kids. I think that was for me the lowest blow that we could have. It was just very disappointing to see that happen at that particular moment.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach Franz.
OJ, I think also I wanted to ask you how did you view our young Tawanda Chirewa? I think he came in with a lot of energy, but he was so selfish. Even on some things that, some places where he needed to just pass. I think the push to the need to score, or the push from Maswanhise, that Maswanhise had scored and had another one, had scored twice, and had another ball that was actually deflected, which would have actually gained as a point. I think that push. How do you take that? If you were the coach on the bench.
Chirewa. Okay. Chirewa, I think there are just some players who've got an X factor, and they know that I've got this X factor and I can do this thing. So added to the pressure of being a sub in all the 3 games, when he comes in, he feels like he needs to come in and change things. So sometimes it works out. For example, a moment of brilliance for that excellent through ball that went to Tawanda for the second goal. That one, we don't have any other midfielder who can do that. So I think sometimes we have to forgive him, Chirewa. He's got a special thing in him that maybe sometimes we need to let him do his thing and allow him. And I think with maturity, better decisions will come. Better decisions will come with more game time. Remember this, Chirewa boy has only played 12 minutes, I think, of first team action. Then most of his minutes have been in the UEFA Youth League and the Premier League under 21. So he's under pressure, but he knows he can bring something, and he can indeed bring it. So I think it's
I
growth
just come in there with
that needs to
Chirewa, yeah?
happen. That's my take.
Can I come in with Chirewa, yeah?
Yeah.
It's easy for us to talk about how selfish a player can be, and but you've got to understand, the football world is always players in any team who've got characteristics that are just different from everyone. Yeah. And those characteristics make that person. And you can cry all you want. Yeah. But that's the nature of Chirewa's game. Yeah. He's one he's almost like Marmite. Yeah. You want to strangle him for some of the decisions that he makes, but he also makes some brilliant decisions as well. So he's always one of those, he's always in between. So no matter what, you watch Chirewa every game, you're going to have one sort of a movement where you're going to say, what the hell? And you're also going to have a situation where you're going to think he's a genius. You can't change that about Chirewa. I've seen so many players over my football career where they can be so annoying, but you can't remove that from him because that's part of him. Think about it this way. Because he's been a sub, many a times when you're a sub and you come on and you think that maybe everyone has been calling you that you're selfish, you start passing even where you're not supposed to pass because you want to get into the coach's good books and be, a starter. So you would think that Chirewa would do that. He doesn't. Why he doesn't? Because that's him. That's the natural in him to do that. So I think this conversation, we're going to have it forever about Chirewa.
Can I, OJ? Can I come in on that Chirewa issue? You see, if you play and you've played with different players, aren't you? There are things. There are these traits each player has. There are traits that have. I'll give you the traits some of our players have in that national. If you watch Maswanhise, if you watch his clips from Scotland, when he plays from the wing, every first touch he has to go past it. He doesn't cut in and then cross the ball or something. He already sees where he wants to go. His first touch, he's going to pass a player and then he's going to swing. So that is straight. If you take that away from him, you've destroyed Maswanhise. Takwara, if you are coming to Takwara and Takwara thinks you're trying to be smart, Takwara decides he's coming to finish you. And if you take that aggression out of Takwara becomes useless. You understand? Galloway, if you take out that coolness away, you are too cool for my liking in the you don't have Galloway anymore. So this kid Chirewa, let me tell you, there's also the youth in him. He's got that youth in him. But without saying that, he's in a borderline. He's on a borderline. You get genius and something irrational at that. Now, when Bonnie came in, did you see every ball that plays to Bonnie? Who was the first guy to get to Bonnie? It was him. You know why? Because he understands good. Bonnie's target man. Bonnie control the ball. He will lay it off. Every ball I know Bonnie because he knows it's this thing. It's this spark in him. He knows who you plays like. And then that pass, Yapa Mashad. Hey, you rewind that. If that was the EPL, they're going to rewind that 4 times. Could you look at it? It's the genius in him. That boy, he's on that borderline, and that he is who he thinks he is. I will say that I'll speak him. He is who he thinks he is. And I'll say, listen, the future is with him and Maswanhise. And also, did you notice when Jalai came in? You see, this is where, always talk about. Always talk about, you see,
Mhm.
I love ball players. Let me tell you, I love ball players. My favorite all-time ball players, Ronaldinho, Gaucho, JJ Okocha. I love ball players. I love ball players. Guys who think with the ball in their. Did you see when Jalai came in? Did you see options? Because he was now becoming the option. He was now making things easy. And
Yeah.
this is the kind of right back you. When I say the future is safe, these are the boys I'm talking about. The way he was running off the ball, the way what was his decisions with the ball, you can tell Guti, if you take that away from Jalai, if you take that offensive aspect in Jalai, you destroy Jalai. So Chirewa, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's accept him, Guti. Those Hatori, and like you said, with time and maturity, he might, and I'll use the word might in capital letters. He might, but what I foresee is he's always gonna be. Actually, he's gonna be doing all that, even if he gets older. Whatever team he's gonna go to, they're gonna have the best of both. Chirewa is like. Do you know? Does anyone remember Ricardo? Remember Ricardo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chirewa is the charisma. He's charisma. When he's on so day race 90 minutes, I'm telling you, Munodambo Commander way, Muchimuchaga, you won't find. But if he decides to be reckless, he's reckless. But you see that the moment he came, the impact he had. This is not the first time he's coming with impact. Even the last.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not good. He's competing with T1. It's not. No, in those are angle reasons. Adult, he wants you to know, Kuti, I'm here now. He is that. I want you to know that I'm here. He made me in the opposition. I want all of you to know, Kuti, I'm here. And the
Yeah.
moment he came in, they all knew he's here. From his first game South Africa, when the South African said, now you went to Zimbabwe guest guy. And then just after the Jonah Fabish, another South African guy posted, where does Zimbabwe, where are you cooking these boys from? He says, just when you think Zimbabwe, they cook another one. He was talking about these South
Yeah.
Africans see what we ourselves fail to see in our. Already someone was questioning Jonah Tante. How you guys were talking about him highly. That's a game. But when I saw him, yes, he's a player. He makes mistakes. He's a kid. I'm not to say he's a kid. He's still learning his trade. But what that boy does, what Jonah goes way beyond what most of these guys have been playing. So we cannot take that away from this. If I was the coach, I wouldn't tell Chirewa to change anything. I'll tell him go and do
Yeah.
your thing, because whether
Yeah.
you tell him or you don't, he's gonna do it.
It's gonna
So,
do the
but
thing. Yeah.
let's go back. Prodigy Ngazo Geromanda said,
I
No,
totally
no.
agree with you.
Prodigy Ngano, if Aganospaka Ikoko, and then he comes up harder. Yes, but for now, because for now we have the two T's in. For now, on either flank, we have the two T's. We have Msendami. Who is he going to? I cannot be among those.
No, he doesn't have anyone he can.
There we go.
Thank you. Louis, welcome. Your first time here. Louis, can you comment on? Did you see any gap that we had in terms of number 10 position against Shambana Bill in the? Was it right to start with those fast wingers centrally, or there was something there? What was your view of the attack?
I mean, personally, I was impressed with the team. I questioned why he was starting Bill and Msendami at the same time. But as the game started, man, bringing the game like that to South Africa, I have to give it to the coach. More credit to him. But Bafana game, especially when we went into the second half, I saw it fit. Nagoboritsa, one of those boys, they looked tired. In the Vanguard, we were lost into their roles, especially Bill. He should have gone. Yeah, the position, but Bill was lost and anything. I mean, na Bill, but in all the same, that midfield, for me, I agree with Mkomari. Papinda Tawanda, you question yourself, why is he not playing all the games? He's our number 10 going forward, Tawanda Chirewa. With all the stupid decisions that he makes, with all those shooting and not passing, that's who he is. And that's what you want as Warriors. You want someone who is confident to do those things. So if you're going to have Tawanda in there, Urgus Parker, the forwards, Vanenge expected the balls to come to them. And that pass alone, ilikuwa na Chirewa to make that equalizer from Maswanhise.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a wow. That's a wow moment. You can never see that every day. And only players like him have got that ability.
Special
Only
players.
players like Chirewa have got that ability. Now, I'm really interested in two issues here.
Yeah.
And the answer I'm going to but Lunga, I heard someone say Lunga should not be coming back to the Warriors. Tikatarisa, who made the goal? Razoiswa pass na Chirewa. It was Lunga. Lunga made that goal. Lunga also the ball, Agawina ball,
Yeah.
and he made an intelligent pass to Chirewa before that through ball.
Yeah.
Lunga made mistakes, I admit. But that guy was playing very well, and he was shutting down Chimudau Chicha. Chimudau comes forward. Ukaona Chimudau Chichitamba ku Sundowns. He comes forward and he ventures into the boxes. But because Lunga was there, Zvanga
Yeah.
Vichira. And
Long either two my
Yeah.
mistake, my go board.
I do get, but the first mistake here, go Bora here, deflection. Guys, come on. That
The
mistake,
second
anyone
one,
can do that.
the header.
That Arubi. The second one, for me, yes, Lunga should have screamed, keeper, that's your ball. But Arubi, I'm blaming Arubi more on that ball. How do you get someone anokukunda kushika pa bora iya shansa musoro uine maoko tu?
Yeah. Cole, on the first goal, do you think that Lunga should have been tighter with because
Yes.
the attacker had so much time
Yeah.
to pick the
The
spot?
The only blame I'll give to Lunga on the first goal is if you notice how Galloway was defending in our previous game against Angola, Taito Sekarichite Wanangwaji defended a corner flag. You know, he was not even allowing someone that space. So the only issue with that goal was the space that he awarded Muna Shuta Bora. But the deflection on its own, come on, guys, that happens. It's a mistake. The second goal, that's Arubi. Arubi should have done better. He should have prevented that goal from coming. As well as Lunga might have screamed, we gifted South Africa 3 goals. I don't know what Nakamba was doing, but I also do not blame Nakamba. He should not have been on the pitch.
But Louis, did we have any option to come off the bench in that deep midfield area?
That's
Yes,
the other
we
issue now, because like I would say we were missing Muniti very much for this Nations Cup. I don't think Pampane Muno would run the right pick with this person is going to go in and play Parutambo Pachana Parutaz if I would say. So probably what the coaches thought to say, let's better stick with what we know. Tongo Jegira Takadar. There was no options. And Mukama Ray on the prodigy, I fail to get why you guys are picking on him so much. He only came in for 5 minutes. He managed to take a shot. Listen. He managed to take a shot. Other players will play you 90 minutes and will never find themselves in a position to even make a shot. He is 16. He only came for 5 minutes. Moshe again,
No. It's not about Moshayaki. You know, a mistake that is made in the 18 area and the mistake that is made in the center circle, the gravity is totally different.
Did he make a mistake though?
That young man was given a chance and the Borarega Bamba twice. Only for him to Zorova. We needed just to pass. That's number one. We're not saying it is not good. We are saying he is good in with his age and his age mates. But don't compare him to Peter Njov. Don't even compare him to Walter Musona. Don't even compare him to marvelous Nakamba Abata Bora. You know, because that young man at the moment still has a lot to learn.
Let me come in.
That's what
I don't know that young man. This is my first time watching him play, and he only came in for 5 minutes. He is 16, I'm told. He has done some things wherever he has done, and just I've never watched him.
He has not done anything because Vakaji was under 17.
You cannot fault him for that touch he made in the box. He shot at goal. He shot at goal and that was blocked. Some other players, Vano Freezer, he shot at goal, and there was another attempt of him trying to go with someone who hit. At 16 years, you are doing that at that grandstand. Guys, come on.
No, we are not saying he's bad. Get me right. We are not saying he's bad. But we are saying when people try to compare him with Peter Njov and say he is like that, in that caliber, he's a prodigy, that's when we start then saying, no, it's not.
Gono, let me come in where my problem is with that young man going. If we continue going back to his age, this is where the problem is. Let's not look at his age, and let's look at the purpose why he was taken here. And now, in any way, my problem is, I'll tell you what my problem is. Right now, we're discussing here number 10 role. We're discussing our midfield. We need to sort our midfield, and I'm going to talk about him, and then I'm going to answer OJ Papu Nakamba would whip. When he was called to the team, and it went back under Pipe. He's 26 years old. I need to explain. He's 26 years. This might have been his first and last chance. The guy finished the season yesterday with 16 assists and 6 goals for a midfielder. And 16 assists, keep these figures in mind. 16 assists and 6. And then when the final choice is made, this player is, and then they take, he's played 8 games. Played 8 games, meaning Papa 8 games, Dopangarim first 8. Started 2 games, Arim first 3, and scored 2 goals. One of them against Kwekwe. I'm mentioning all these things. I want you to understand how deep we need to be looking at this thing. Now, when you call a kid who's 16 to come to the national team, he has to be exceptionally good. This is a national team. He needs to be exceptionally good. You get my point, Papa? Exceptionally good. He needs to be exceptionally good for him to be called up there. And this kid hasn't done anything except for him to be called to the national team. That's point number 1. People can say, you see, his history and Akatamba rugby. What does that got to do with soccer? This is football. Don't tell us about Akatamba rugby. He came in rugby with athletics. Don't bring it here. This is not the place. You need to be exceptionally good. Now, point number 1. Point number 2, he is coming there. Okay, he is coming to play. Position EP. Position that we have T Maswanhise, T Chirewa, and we have 3, and we have Bill Antonio. We have 4 of these guys here.
Zindoga.
You understand? And this is, you're bringing this kid to 17 against to come up with these guys. But we dropped a midfield who could have been giving us option as the number 10 to making the critical passes. 10. So the problem is this, Slim. This is where my problem. Mfana we anakuda zero national team because of his abilities to. Let's be frank. Akadai zero. His agency could he's under Rock Nation. Those and they want to market him. And this is the platform to market him. And the kumpinda papa, you see, this boy needs to be kept for him to dance with things. If Papa that take a boss to anyone kept for this game, and so it has nothing to do. I have nothing against the boy for his let him speak no here. This is big boy. Boratora Nagono. Just give me a second. Someone who knows could go. Let's go back to the knowledge Msona go. I'm not comparing in Msona.
No. Let's go to Boninas. Don't go Mashuri. Let's go to Boninas.
Let's go. Boran Kabamba wants you take a crack at go because Ukabamba catch 2. You're giving your opposition time to reorganize the Shina. That's why you can tell good maturity Yake was playing. We don't need that. We need.
Agreed.
Now let me start up in Nakamba. Who do we bring in? I feel there's a time when you say, okay, let's throw caution to the wind. We are already golden. Let's go for the. I take Nakamba out. I put an attack.
I like
That's
that.
what.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Can I say something?
All right.
I like that. Yeah, Oji,
Yeah.
I was just coming back kuna Mkomari. I appreciate Mawari's now why he was selected in the first place. That's where my question would also be. But what he has done per Apinda, let's not use that. Never blame it at that Bo alone. Boni also took a shot. He had a chance. He took a shot up or border through Agaroa border gablogona keeper. But it pam excuses hobo. We were saying, no, keeper make a good save, either this and that. We could also do that for this young prodigy. Now,
Okay.
also with the Boni issue.
Please remove the name prodigy. He is not there.
Don't use the word.
Don't
Prodigy.
use that word.
I'm
Don't use
using
that
the
word.
name because you guys
No,
brought it. I'm using the name because you guys brought it.
No,
I'm
no,
not,
you
I'm not
didn't
the one-
brought it.
Someone brought it. We didn't bring it. Someone brought it. It's also
But
just
anyway,
saying,
you
don't
know,
use.
Okay.
A
Okay,
Go
prodigy
on,
just means
Louis.
someone with future prospects. Anyway, I could use that. It's fine to use
Yeah,
prodigy
go on,
for him.
Louis.
It's fine. It's fine to say prodigy. He's 16.
Can I say
At
something?
16 years to be doing that, to be in that position,
All right.
makes you a prodigy.
Wait till
And
Carlos. Wait till he finishes, Louis. Then Louis finishes. Then Malcolm.
Yeah,
will
I'm just
come in.
about to wrap up. At 16, being called to play Nations Cup, being able to represent your country even at under 17, you're already a prodigy because there are future prospects. You are fine, you are doing very well. I would rather take Mfana where we are at 16, are able to play than bring back Macaulay Bonny I'll bring back Macaulay Boy, Bonnie with this discussion. Then could defend a Bonnie at all costs. The Bonnie has to be there. Bonnie has to be there. There's no difference, right? Now I'll wrap up. Number 10, where is Tawanda Chirewa? That does not have anything to and he should be starting games as well. The only issue Andrew Gonakitika Chirewa is he ends up shooting because he does not trust his teammates. Atanga could trust if I pass the ball to the next person, we can do better. Probably Senyika, we have got a good team for the next qualifiers or next games.
Yeah,
Okay.
look, guys,
Thank you.
I think, can I say something?
Yeah, go on,
Yeah,
Malcolm.
I think for Chakuchichi, the youngster,
It's Coach Frank.
he's not a
Okay, go
proven
on.
prodigy. He's not
Yeah.
somebody that has proven himself at international level. First of all, he would have had to score in a friendly match first. Once you scored in a
Yeah.
friendly match, then you score in a low pressure international game. Once you scored in a low pressure international game, then you can score in a competition at international level. He's skipped all of those stages. There's no sense in putting somebody, you might as well put any 16-year-old from any school in Zimbabwe at that level. They will probably perform the same. Zimbabwe is not a high performing nation. We do not have fantastic athletes in our squad. Do not think that Chakuchichi is a fantastic athlete. It's the system that we have here that makes him fantastic. You do not push people into high performance. I'm a high performance coach. I know how this works. You don't take somebody from 16 years old and put them at international level competition and say, there, go score goals. You take someone who's proven themselves, like Maswanhise has proven himself, and he banged 2 goals today. Chirewa, he scored in the AFCON qualifiers. He's did an assist today. He's done very well. But I think to have put Chakuchichi in that was unnecessary. The coach had to have brought him in a winning game, first of all, with 2 minutes left, that he knows that this kid will finish this game having won. Now he's lost his first international game. That sends a mental picture in your head that I'm a loser. It's how it works.
Just one question, Coach Franz.
Yes, sir.
When Fabishi was first robbed into the national team, where had he proven himself at an international level?
That I'm not sure.
But he
Bishi is 20 and he's
no.
played league
I
football
mean,
for how
way
many
back
years?
when he started, way back, not now.
was
When he
playing-
started,
He was playing for Stuttgart. He was playing regular games for Stuttgart B.
I'm not sure where he was.
I thought the question was proving yourself at international level.
Yes, you
where
must be a
Chakuchichi
proven
has not
striker.
done that.
We
Fabrice
can't take
came for
unproven
a
strikers
friendly.
to a tournament. It doesn't work. Chakuchichi had his chance. Chakuchichi had his chance, but he failed to score. 2 times he had the ball. He did not put it at the back of the net. It did not happen.
To be neutral in this, yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
be neutral. But
Are we done with Chakuchichi?
that
Or Louis, you still have something? Okay.
my concerns
We'll
regarding
move on
that
to the next one. Malcolm.
I think Kev is saying something.
made myself clear about that
let's
young man.
let Malcolm come in. Malcolm, I've
Yeah.
got 2 things. Did you see the value of Bonnie today? I saw you making a comment asking for Bonnie to come in, and then
Can you hear
the
me?
next
Sound?
comment. How do you see the way that Divine Lunga was using the ball? Was he using the ball efficiently when he was in possession?
Yes, I think so. I think he just got a bit unlucky with the second goal, especially. For the first goal, that was a deflection. That happens. Even world class defenders or anybody, that can happen. That was a deflection. It wasn't intended. The second goal, yes, I actually blame him. Now, that was a mistake. Going back to what Mr. Oliver had said, trying to say Divine Lunga might as well retire. I don't think Divine Lunga. I think we still need a Divine Lunga. To be honest, he held it down. Besides
What
those
about
errors,
Marvelous?
he actually did good. Like besides those errors, Marvelous Nakamba, thank you for your international career. Now you can focus on club football. It's not the first time Marvelous
getting a
Nakamba has let
jersey.
us down. He did the same thing. Even those friendlies against who was Algeria and Qatar. We had rumors that he was clubbing and all that. You're not a superstar.
Do you
If
think
it's
you'll find
Cristiano
a brown
Ronaldo doing
envelope under his
that,
pillow
we'll understand that. Stuff like that. Yeah. If it's You know, if it's Cristiano Ronaldo with that kind of behavior, if it's Lionel Messi with that kind of behavior, the superstar behavior, would understand that. But what have you done for the national team for you to do those, for you to give us those kind of dramas, So thank you very much, Marvelous Nakamba, for your
Needs to
international
go.
service. Now you can focus on
Yeah,
five
bye
career.
bye.
Now let me.
Done. It's done.
No,
The young man
You
is
we need
cannot
to
come
be
back
angry.
from
honest.
that.
I
You
think we need
cannot
to be
come back
honest
from
with
that.
each other. Yeah. I think we need to be honest. Let's be honest for once. These experienced players, how many times have they let us down? I think it's time for new blood right now. Maswanhise came in
Thank you.
today. He proved to the coaches. I also want to blame Knowledge Lisona. You go to this tournament, we're looking up to you, and you only play one game. First game
Yeah,
you're injured.
one game.
Second game you're injured. That means you probably knew that he was not feeling well or something. At that age, let the coach know that, coach, I don't think I'm going to handle this tournament. We're not that strong of a footballing nation. We
Can
need
I?
to win. So do not. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the young man is angry.
And
But
I
young
won't
man, you
lie.
didn't answer my question.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. What was your question? Yeah.
My question was on in terms of the use of the ball with
Mm-hmm.
Divine Lunga. I
Yes.
saw Lunga had a few opportunities to overlap and to underlap, and he got the ball very free, but he was putting the balls
Yeah.
elsewhere. So
Yeah. So I would say,
unlike what
Divine
you would
Lunga.
see with Jalai.
Yes, Divine Lunga has never been an overlapping kind of left back. You look at him at Mamelodi Sundowns. I actually got the privilege to watch him at the FIFA Club World Cup against Borussia Dortmund. That's his play, He's not a overlapping kind of left back. So the coach knew that already. So I don't really want to blame him for that. Also, he doesn't have that speed. He's not that speedy. So
Yeah,
I think he actually did a good job because he logged in what's his name, the South African right back. That guy is really dangerous. What's his name? Mudau, right?
Dow.
Yeah, we didn't really see Mudau
Very
in
good
that
job.
game. Probably, I think just the first 15 minutes of the game. That's only when we saw
Exactly what I
Mudau
saw.
playing. The rest of the game, Mudau was shut down. He also logged that guy, Murao or something, the right winger, right? To the point where the coach substituted him
Moremi.
out. Moremi, right? Yeah. To the point where the coach substituted him out because he wasn't getting anything. So Divine Lunga, to be honest, I don't
so should
even
he?
want to.
So
Yeah.
should he play? Should he play at centre back then? Because
No, I wouldn't
yeah,
play him at this.
uh,
Yeah.
why would we be playing a left back at international level who can't cross a simple
Exactly.
ball? A professional player who can't cross the ball. Why would
Well,
you do that? Cancelo, please come in.
yeah.
Yeah. Aman, if you see the left backs we had in the past, both Onismo Baseras, they were really, tournament style geared left backs. They would go and make those overlapping runs, and they would even, there's this game against Algeria, if you saw it, Onismo Basera Paraita, that overlapping run. And, he won a penalty and we scored a penalty. So you see, Divine Lunga, I don't know if any of you keep like a record of how he started, but he's naturally like a sort of a center back. And he's more playing like in an inverted way, like what that guy in Arsenal, the Calafiori, does. He likes to invert into the midfield, but not going like overlapping, going into the touchline, And today, if you actually saw the South African game plan, they played, Wanga very comfortable to a sense that Rataro and Oliver, they were using that 2-4-4, meaning that their fullbacks were pushing high up. And when the aim, like the video you sent about this analyst and they should go and force Divine Lung out of position. For the first goal, it kind of worked because he had so much space for the shot. Because if you drive if Mudau makes the overlap, Divine Lunga is gonna commit to mark Mudau, and then the battle now is now between this forward pinned into that space. He's not going to have a battle na Galo. So yeah, I don't know who we're gonna keep a record of Divine Lunga, but actually, unfortunately, he is the best left back we have in the country. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't see any other.
Left back, there's Fusire.
Where's
There's Fusire.
Zamora?
at this point of the
just
game,
had a
Zemura,
question.
there's
Hey,
Fusire.
Oh,
Zemura.
Can I
Zemura,
say
Zemura,
something?
Zemura.
Cancelo, at this point of the game, it's a tournament. If the guy's made 2 mistakes in that game, you have to sub him out. That's how it works. Watch any Champions League manager will sub out any player who's made like 2 mistakes because you cannot have that for this high pressure game. Divine Lunga made a few mistakes there.
Question,
Yeah.
right? Oh, like the first, wasn't he playing as a left center back when the game started though? Then when he moved to left back, that's when he actually had a good game. Of course, excluding the Washington Arubi thing. I think he was playing as we
No,
were playing
we had a
back
back
three
four.
But
when the
why
game
move
No,
started.
him?
we had a back
Why
four.
move him? He's having a bad
No, it was
We
game.
had
back
a
three.
back
Take him
four.
out. Oh.
Was it not
Yeah.
a back four with Munashe right back, Takwara right center back, Galloway left center back, then Lunga left left
No,
back.
no, OJ. I thought it was back three. Garananga
Yeah,
being
it
at
was
the
a back
center,
three.
Takwara was to right, and Lunga was to left. It was a back three
Yeah,
initially.
I think we started with a back three,
I
and
no.
yeah. Oh, go on. Yep.
Yeah, but the shape was
So
a
we
back
had
four.
Lunga
Garananga was playing
pushing
more
in
from
that
outside.
deep to make
No,
the
it wasn't
crosses
a
as
back
a
three,
winger.
guys.
Is that what we're saying?
No,
No.
he was a left
Guys,
back. You know
it
why
wasn't a
it
back
seemed like
three.
he was
Those
a left he was a left
Oh.
center back. It was cause we were being pressed up. Like yeah, go on out.
we were playing a back four. It wasn't a back
I
three.
swear,
You see, the reason why
make
these
at least
guys are
3 attempts and he missed all of them.
yeah. You see, the reason why these guys are thinking Kuti it was a back three is
Would have
because
taken him out after
Divine
3 mistakes that I said
Zoka
out.
inside the way.
But Coach Fran, who would you put?
There's
Who
a
would
lot
you
of
put
people
Coach Fran
talking.
now? Like on our bench, we had no player. Plus,
Who
I
was there
remember
that
Coach
hasn't
Kev
played in his
Bacharuti.
position? Any defender.
No, there is Fusire, a left back, a very good left back,
No,
and
Fusire
also
is
right.
right.
Exactly.
is right
right
back.
back.
Guys, what
He's
you
right
got to
back.
understand.
But Brendan Galloway, I think Galloway has played as a left back.
Galloway can
Galloway
take
was
left
good.
back.
Yeah, so maybe they could have put in a center back. I know Ishan
After,
Mauchi or
after 2
something.
games,
Or Mudim,
guys
yeah.
are tired. They were not performing at 100%. You have to put your fresh players.
Yeah.
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 All right,
Coach
OJ,
Van
I
let
think
me
the boys
pick
played
up my
well. I
point.
also think Lunga did nothing criminal, to be honest. I don't
No,
know
he
why
He didn't
was
do
goal.
any.
Yeah,
No,
me too.
no,
The second goal.
He
The second
caused
goal.
the
no,
goal.
Nah, the
It's
first
so
one
much
is not a
wrong, man.
mistake.
Guys, the first goal, the deflection, you don't blame a defender. You see, he had his hands behind his back and you were trying to block it and it deflected.
Exactly.
I personally, I won't hold him responsible
but
for that. It's
Nkomare,
the
was
second
it
goal
not
that
too far?
I have a problem.
Even
that I
the
have,
first
it's
goal.
No, yeah, he was too far because he didn't press. That's
Exactly.
That's
I
the
don't blame.
mistake.
But the second goal, that's
Yeah, the
I think he
second one.
got scared. Why didn't try to go back forward rather than go back?
Yeah, maybe second goal, but I still think Arubi should have done better. Ojigwe,
Mese
Nemsoro Namaoko too.
wachikita une maoko padokutangirwa kune munhu ari kuhedha bhora.
Munhu ari kuhedha
Arubi
nemusoro.
You
should
know,
have
you know,
hit that ball out.
you know what?
How do you
was
get your hand to somebody's head? You can do this. How do you get to somebody's head?
Kevin Asanambotaura,
Kevin is not here for now. He's not around for now.
You can hear me, but I don't think others can hear me.
Cancelo, how did you
Kevin
see
speaking,
performance
Kevin
ya Prince Dube?
OJ.
Motor you. What?
OJ,
Kevin
arikutry kutaura.
Are you going round the block?
Because you need to, your service is bad. We are hearing trains behind you.
Yeah.
I
So
think
guys,
Washington and Ruby did not have a good game.
yeah.
But-
Is it age?
That's
First goal for
see
Washington and
situation-
Ruby. How do you end
Guys,
up on the floor?
Yeah, coach, I think if you look at the way how our team is now, I think going for Vision 2030, next World Cup, we will have a very good team if we build around the young players that we have. All the, I'm not sorry to say geriatrics, all the old guys have to just step aside and give way to the
Don't
youngsters.
use that.
Honestly speaking.
Wait, which
Don't
ones
use-
must step aside?
The one that I should step aside, we have got Divine Lunga. He's a very good player. He's actually saved the team very well. Arubi has actually saved
Yes.
Chipezeze as well. Then Mali comes in. Then Garanganga. Probably he might not actually be there. Twara is not be there. Nakamba. Thank you,
Yeah.
Captain. Bonnie, 29.
Yeah.
Dube, he will not be there. Hadebe will not be there. He will not be there. Paddy will not be there. Murwira will have to sing from the terraces. Musona, thank you very much. And Chakuchichi will
Musona.
have to go on to play under 23.
But the problem we have. You see, this is. Let me tell you where the dynamics change and go for Zimbabwe in terms of football. You see, this coach. You know that a lot of the fans right now, they are not putting into context the amount of time this guy has been with the team. How long has this guy been with?
Yeah, yes.
Is it not
This
3 months?
coach,
2 months?
This coach, right?
3 months.
2 months, 3 months. Okay, 2, 3.
There's another thing.
Look at what is done with in that short space of time. The problem is he's not going to be given time to really build. You know, because people be like, coach akatityisa dai akatambisa ningi. You see, we, like I've said, you know, this emotional attachment to Pascal, we need to let it. We have seen, all these guys who have played, we've seen what they can do. We've seen what they can do. We've seen that the future of the Warriors is right there in front of our eyes. The future is right. Fusile, the two towers, Msendami, who did I leave out? Very six. That's core. You know, when you have you need a core, and then you
Chirewa.
the counter. That's the core. You have 8 of these boys. That's the core. But guess what's going to happen? This guy is not going to, and then also have Zemura. He's not. You see, this guy is not going to be given a time to build. 1. Number 2, this guy does not have a pool to choose from. Hatina than under 23. Who knows our under 23 national team coach? Do you know any national team?
That's where Chakuchichi is going.
The coach, but who's the coach? Who's the under 20?
It's Texua. Is it not Texua?
Because we don't even have an under 23 squad. So we're supposed to have an under 18, 20, 23 squad. Where this coach with 8 Vanda Taura, you say, I'm going to pick from those boys. We want to, you know, their tournaments there. And then that's when we can see. But you see, we don't have all that because it goes back to the same. The problem with the Warriors is not just the Zifa. Problem Warriors is goes with the fans as well. Because our player did not, we lose our shit, we lose our Ningi. Chirodai Ningi Tamba was too good. Both South Africa have been together for a long time and they play in a system that they've been using for a long time. But you see, you can tell this coach we are getting. You see, he's taught, you know, this is the first time he's taught them once you're bombarded, just maintain, you know, absorb that pressure. When you've absorbed it, start playing ball, go to him. You could when South we absorb that pressure, South Africa, with the moment they thought they were going to, that's when Tawanda did it, but you can tell when the problem could seem to Galloway control Bora Wesapa. And then you need youngsters also to be coming in who can be groomed by these guys who are there. Kutimbana, I want you to watch him because you're going to take over that position. Watch him. That's why I said we needed Mali. Mali should have been there. Garapan like Chibezeze. I think watch what Arubi is doing. Improve on what Arubi mistakes is making. But no, the kid, but I understand he was injured. Okay, we'll let it go for that. But we are not going, this guy, I hope he stays long, but knowing gananda kumsoro ukago anofambiswa because mnanga uti daita dzosa mapeza kadaita dzosa ningi. We can't work like that. As an I love Jalai. You guys know I love Jalai. I'm not a Dynamo supporter, but I love Emmanuel. I love that kid. That boy is a baller. But I can't get a bench and Garananga was playing there. I could tell Kuti Garananda is not used to when you leave the defensive area, you go into an offensive position, and you could tell good he's not used to it. But Jalai can switch from defense to offense just like that. And then I was just in, when are they going to put him? I didn't miss, but because the discretion is the coach's discretion, and only the coach knows why he did that. And that coach, he did that, and then he put Pazwa Pinza. The dynamics of the game changed. The only problem I have is I think it delays too long to make the changes. I think he should make changes, especially when Bill and Msendami started, when they could not clearly define who is playing. We're seriously lacking in number 10. Seriously, someone to get the ball to at his feet and back. And then when Apocalypto came, he started doing I'm not sure boy, I want to run it. And then came that part that I'm going to talk about. That Pascal.
But Ray, imbotaura nego bhora rekutanga ranhingirikini ramasvanhise.
Yeah,
That was
we need
classical.
to dedicate time to that goal.
Yeah. Aparitwa vanhu.
Gentlemen, let me tell you who that goal. You want to remind me. You want to go remind me. If you watch South Africa versus Zimbabwe for 4-1.
4-1.
The flying elephant, the greatest ever. Zimbabwe's great. Akageza vanhu, including thank you. I mean, Tawanda
Malcolm, that's a prodigy.
Guys, let me explain. Bapomana ina na bowlers. Pana naro side step to amo dine kumbo left car. Pango move 10 meters. Anga to jita 2. Both which 2 was already taken because of this guy. Tawanda Papa Pana I showed good man. These guys, I nothing more when they go Burari.
We were not supposed to allow the coach thing.
Yes, Kevin, come in. Yes,
Okay.
yes, Kevin.
Yeah. So
That was the worst thing he could have done.
I was traveling. Yeah. So I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. So you know what? I'll just try to with a brief netulu another bomb story. Let's go first goal. You know, like what you were saying about that goal. It's easy to look at Bora Para when the ball fell onto the wide man as a goal Bora and just look at another Lunga, someone who was not in position. But that's not exactly that, because what South Africa were doing is they were trying to stretch us. They realized they tried to come through the middle, because we have, even though formation had changed from 4 defenders to 3 defenders, depending on the side, we also had 3 midfielders in there. They knew they could try to get joy from wide. So when that ball was played, you can't say Lunga was in the wrong position, because a defender, you should be watching as a left back or right back. You should be watching where the ball is coming from and where your man is. Yeah. So if that guy then controls the ball, there's no way you expect where that guy was and you expect Lunga to be touch tight. You cannot defend like that. He's got to defend his goal. So he's in line, with the other defenders. And so when the ball was played and it went across, that's when he then has to press there. So if he don't get there in time, shit happens in football. Things don't just happen, all the time. But to actually expect him to have been touch tight with him, a defender doesn't do touch tight there, because where is the dangerous position of conceding a goal? Where that guy was, or where the goal is. He was in the right position, but it was just an unfortunate goal. The second goal, though,
Kevin, Kevin, I beg to differ on that one.
Yeah, what's going?
I beg to differ on that one.
Yeah.
You see, the problem yaita Lunga Pai, it's like he was tugged in too deep. He's a left back. You have to stay with your men.
No,
stay
you don't.
as wide as possible.
No,
Cover.
not in the box.
Yes, you have.
Not in the box.
Yes, you do.
Which one?
Yeah. You see what happens when you leave space to people is then you don't have time to react and block and make a block. That's when you get deflections like that. You see, marry your men, angasa mover.
He was. Ow. Yeah. And I hope I can get that video.
He should not even be moving.
Then I would try to get that video. I'll try to get that video of that goal. Yeah, because and certainly I sort of want to be 100% convincing. But I'll tell you one thing: a defender, when you're defending the goal, or if he was touch tight, and the ball is played to his right foot and someone scores from there, what do we say? That's what we would say. So we can't have our cake and eat it at the same time, because
no, he has centre backs. Yes, centre backs to cover for that. Yes, centre backs to cover for that. Left centre back Gallo is supposed to then follow and help him press.
Just to help there, Lunga, when we consider the first goal, it was a back 3, guys. I'm saying he was not fully left back. Yanga back 3. So I got to correct
it wasn't a back 3.
It was a back 3.
Calvin, was it a back 3?
Louis.
Yeah, but guys, who was involved in those?
He was tucking inside. He was tucked inside.
No.
Who were the wing backs?
I think we
Who were the wing backs?
We are getting too interested in 3-5-2, 4-3-3, whatever. The way we were.
So who was playing right back then?
Right, guys.
Munashe.
Marananga.
Guys, listen. Let me say something, yeah, so that we don't speak over each other. Let me say this. We're getting too involved about which formation we were playing. Our formation changed every time. It was changing because at one point, Taekwondo was in a back three. But whilst in the back three there, South Africa were using their wide men. So as soon as the left wide man, had the ball, because we did not want Maswanhise to follow that wide man all the way, to our box. Takwara is the one who was, because he's the right center of the three. He is the one who was pushing there, and then the whole defense now pivots into that area, and Maswanhise was moving inside. So at one point we had the back three, and then on another point
It was back
we
three.
had back four. So it was almost like, depending on where our players were, we never really had, a static back four.
Can
We
I
could
ask
not
one
have
question? When we played back four, who were the two CBs if Munashe was at right back? Who were the two CBs then?
Takwara and Galloway,
Yes.
those were the two CBs.
point,
Lunga was the
point-
left back.
three, whether we're playing with a four or we're playing with a three, there's a point when we were allowing Lunga to be forward in the back three. The rest of the back four, which became a back three, we're pivoting into that left side, to stop, the ball being played from there. So we get too excited about the formation, about whether we're back four or back three. Back four turns into back three, depending, on which the fullback is, or depending whether it's the left back or the right back. If he's gone forward and our right-centered defender pivots into the right side, we have a three. So let's not, get, drained too much into it, because and this is the problem as well, because we don't really have an identity. Some of the things that we're doing, it's almost like, let's figure out, what to do, because now he's gone. There's no natural instinct, about players, knowing that without even thinking about it, Jonah has pushed in. Is it Marvel who's, pivoting and getting into that space where Jonah was? We don't have that, as I always use the word second nature. We don't have that. That's the reason why, even when, before Chirewa came on, because Chirewa, this is where you realize that he plays in the Premier League. This is the quality that he shows, because with the other players, they would wait for Bonnie. When the ball is being played to Bonnie, they would wait to see where he's going to flick or hit the ball, and then they react. You don't do that, because once you do that, defenders are always going to be on the ball before you, guaranteed. But because Chirewa now is clever, he was going into an area where Bonnie could see him. So Bonnie is facing the ball, but he can see Chirewa. So when he heads it down, Chirewa is there straight away. So there's a lot of things in our side where we have no identity, guys. If we're being honest, we have no identity yet. But we've started showing signs of being, looking like we are being coached. But it's going to take, a long time. I'll quickly go on to that young man, which, everyone really likes talking about. That young man is unfortunate in the sense that he's a victim of circumstances. Yeah, because let's just put it this way: if that was your son, you're going to be happy that he's being picked, into the national team and all that. But on the other hand, when people are looking at it, they're looking at where have you come from to be where you are. Yeah. So people are saying you've got to earn the right. You've got to earn the right to be where you are. Have you earned the right?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't earned the right, to be there, but he was kicked. The thing with football, which is the one thing that always happens, that kid could have come in and scored, and all of a sudden we forget about the fact of how he came in. We forget about the Rock Nation. We forget about this, but because he was given very little time and he hasn't done anything, I think it's fair for people to say he's got to go back and build himself from wherever he is, to become a fully fledged international player. But whilst he's there, we have to support him. And I'm coming now to the point which is the biggest issue with us Zimbabweans. I've seen so many times that we support individuals we tend to support individuals rather than support the team. So I'll give you a good example. The humbling that Church had, yeah, and how much we were told that Lunga is 100 times better than him. How can they put Lunga on the bench? This is what football does to you. This is what football does to you, because you cry for something and then it happens. So what do we say now? That's why I say when we're supporting, we've got to let the emotions away and look at someone, because far too many times I've seen people who are not even supporting Zimbabwe because a certain player is not playing. Let's go to Musona. Musona, I said this about Musona and the fitness issue, yeah, and there was people who were saying, why was Musona substituted? And I was saying, do you realize probably that he's actually played more minutes than he should? Yeah? Because we are seeing that he scored a goal, but what we are not thinking is that probably he's fucked by then, because his age and probably the match fitness or the games that he has, or the, this comes with the sports science as well. I know we've got a coach as well does sports, with the sports side. I've done that as well. I understand that. Musona, it's not a surprise. He had a massive game, yeah, and people were clamoring for him. Massive game in the sense that he scored. Not that he did very well in midfield. Now he did it. Let's be honest about it. But he scored a goal and he gave us hope. But when a coach is doing a job, please respect the fact that sometimes we might not agree with it, but he's got more knowledge and data about players that you do not have. A coach spends days and weeks and all that with players. You do not know that probably that day, maybe even something is light as maybe he's got a bit of a side chain. He's played through it. And so the coach is going to say, try to give me 45. But if he's substituted at 45 and we think that he's fit and he was playing well, we are going to hammer that coach and say he doesn't know what he's doing. So does the coach not know what he's doing then or did he not know what he's doing when he pulled off Musona? Because we didn't have him today.
Kevin,
I think
let me answer.
I think
Let
the
me reply
coach.
on you on that one. You see, what happens is, all right, go ahead.
Okay,
Okay.
I think the.
You see.
Oh, sorry, who's talking?
Yeah, go ahead, Coach Francis.
Okay, I think the coach is too new for the team. First of all, you don't change your coach before a major tournament. That's the worst thing that you can do.
100%.
It upsets team
Exactly.
cohesion. These guys have an hierarchy of who's going to play when. When you change the coach, that all changes. It upsets everybody. We saw the media said these guys are fighting amongst each other. It does not work out. Now, putting knowledge Musona or not, the guy was banging goals. If I was there, I said, field him. I don't care. He's injured. I need one goal from this guy because he's proven himself so many times. Rather him than someone who hasn't scored any goals. In my opinion, I think I would rather put guys who I know can score goals on the pitch. It's a very high pressure game. And if you don't have that intellect to think that this sort of shot, I need to push it a little bit high or a little bit low, it's not going to happen. That's not how high performance work.
Can I quickly answer him on that?
Yeah.
The point regarding that is maybe you didn't understand what I said. I didn't say Musona shouldn't be playing, because you're looking at someone like him and say he's got to come on. At some point, even if it means he's going to play 30 minutes, last 30 minutes, because there's a goal somewhere in him. But you can't cheat your body. You cannot cheat your body. No matter how much you want someone to play, his body has got to allow him to be able to do the job. Yeah? So if the coach thinks that Musona needs 60 minutes, and in that 60 minutes he scored a goal, and fans are saying, why are you taking him off at 60 when he should have played 90? When the coach knows that his fitness level, if he played 90, he's going to struggle to play in 2 days' time, in 3 days' time. Yeah. All that coaches would know that. Yeah. So because otherwise, if we are playing a tournament, every manager or every coach would play their best players for 90 minutes. Forget about the next game, because you just have to play 90 minutes. But there's age factor, there's fitness factors, there's people who are coming from injuries. All those things the coach has got to put into consideration. Yeah. Do you agree with that? So He thinks that Musona can do a job for us, but he can only do 60. I will tell you, how many times have you seen even coaches saying, whether you're going to play well or not, they say he's only going to give me 65 minutes. Yeah. And on the 65th minute, he takes him off. Whether he was playing brilliantly or not, because he knows that his body can only cope with 65 minutes. For today, he can cope with only 65 minutes. If I play longer than that, the risk that I'm putting for him to not play the next 2-3 games is high. So coaches have got a job to do. So it's not, but us as fans, when we when we're doing our armchair analysis, or, when we're watching the game or we're coaching from the seat, we are just thinking, you know what? Let's say it's Manchester City and we're saying Zangalewa would score, at any time, even the 90th minute. So he's got to stay on that pitch. But guess what? Pep could know that he's just coming back from injury. And if I play him 90, I'm going to lose him for 4 games. So I'm going to bring him off, after 60 minutes or 65. That is one thing that sometimes we have to give coaches, that the decisions that they do, sometimes they get it wrong. But most of the decisions that coaches do, they have more information about individual players than we have. That was my point.
True.
No,
I agree with that.
Kevin,
Can I jump in there?
the thing, what happens?
I wanted to say something. I'll go after Al.
Okay, yeah.
okay.
You see, what happens is that with your analysis, I get totally where you're coming from, Kutichi. Coaches, information that they are given, we are not privy to. So, but when a coach makes decisions which do not look right, like just they do not pass the eye test, you see, like Pakapins and Navaya in the previous game, after making substitution, Tawanda Maswanhise akagara pabench. I don't care what was the condition here. Maswanhise, we know it because Kumadaweo, he has been scoring. Then you in a game where we are deadlocked and we are looking for a goal, you don't even bring Maswanhise on. Those are things that will make a coach being questioned. Are you really making decisions based on performance or based on something else that us fans and everyone else doesn't know? You see, but kana iri nyaya yekuti zvakafanana nekuti Zangalewa, you gave an example Zangalewa. There was a time yakaburiswa na Pep when he was on a hat trick. He had scored 2 goals and then Pep vamuburisa. And people were saying, oh, you should have left him on for a hat trick. Yes, I get that. I understand that bit. But kana kuzoita mamwe decisions ekuti paunotarisaka, when that substitution is made, you can tell something is not right about this substitution. Like bringing on Navaya, that substitution raised more questions than answers. And then all of a sudden, Tawanda then becomes miraculously fit. He doesn't have fire in his belly. You see, those are things that brings questions. Pana coach. All right.
Yeah.
Ochengeta Nakamba 90 minutes, and then we lose the game.
Come in, Ray. Ray, I also want to ask you this as you come in, Ray. Do you think a coach who's got a job on the line would make a decision of leaving someone like Maswanhise? Honestly, if you're watching Maswanhise in training, do you think the coach had the control of that decision?
Right.
Or does he know the players?
Guys, let me come in. Let me answer this. Nyaya Maswanhise, Kutanzi fire in the belly, what? That was just for PR because I had privy information to actually what happened. So it wasn't anything to do with Anzi fitness or fire in the belly. No, it was something bigger than that. Okay, and the chances that boy was not going to play were very high because look, let me not say what happened, but the chances were that boy was never going to play because there's no way pound for pound you start Navaya. There's no way pound for pound you play the other players that were playing without Navaya in there. But I want to come back to my point here, like where Mushi was saying, we are not looking at many aspects. I understand, we've been starved of success for a very long time. In any, I want to come in any my days in Japan, it was my days dream team. I will tell you that back then Zifa, Yanga Nani, stability up there, Yanga Nani, the guys who were running that association, Yanga Nani, to the extent that corporate world, Yaito sponsor, those guys, Vakatomopo, Ama 33 ne Willowville to use. Black Rhinos used to give them their bus. Those guys were all taken care of. And did it. Because Bajon was given time to mold his team. And then during that time, that's when the Moses Chunga issue came. He tried to handle it in a way until he organized the friendly match to prove kunevanhu kuti no, handingomsiya mpezui because ndandisuda kuti atambe ndikumsiya for a reason. Handidi. So we've been starved of success so much. Back then we used to go ground in 11. Dream team ichitamba 3. Taenda ground in 11. Toswera tiri gotozobva ikoko because
Pasina zvimwe zvekuita mukoma.
no zvazviripo. Let me tell you, ground kwaizara queue yacho Louis, queue yacho yaibva unoziva kuti road yekumeburain yaya queue yaibva kuroad.
I know, but
no, let me tell you, the thing is this: the team used to perform so well, and the team was consistent, and we never qualified though, but the team was consistent. The approach, so Munwese used to look forward to that. We have starved so much of success, and the good we want success at every turn. This guy just got 3 months in the job, and then up until we expecting like how we not have that. No. The truth is this: to be honest with you, I wasn't looking forward to any win or whatsoever of advancing. I just wanted to see what this guy is bringing to the table. I just wanted to see a coach who's got guts to say, I'm the guy in charge. I make the call. Wherever I call plays. And I'll give and he did that. In some instances he did that. But you can still tell there's a hand behind everything he's doing. There's a puppet master.
Invisible hand.
You can tell there's still a puppet master somewhere. Because I tell you, if it was up to him, this coach here, we mechanical, some players will not be in that team. I want to tell you this. But see, there's a puppet master. And even right now, focus Yedu is just on the Warriors. Under 15, 17, 18, 20. Hatitorin are there. Hakuna Olympic qualifiers for under 23s or whatever. They should be there. We don't even have a team. We don't even have a coach. So we don't have that. We are people who are so starved of success. We don't have a program made to national team. But I'll tell you right now, South Africa that we're looking at this national team here. I tell you, they've got replacements for all these guys here. Did you see Mbana Zopin that open Tiroy? I don't know Mbana has under 23 Rempano.
Quarter, I think it's 21.
Thank you. It's
And
21.
TOB 28.
Yeah, but
TOB
you
and
see, you
28.
see how he brought him in. Do you know he's the most skilled player out of all that team? He's the most skilled player, that boy. But see, that coach, Hanangomkanda, Azomunza, Papa, knowing good look, if it's already done. It's the way you introduce a player into a system. It's Suzuka, we don't even have that succession plan, but Nota has been playing Commander 17, under 20, under 23. He's come through that stages. Right now, that is trying to correct Chimbosia Rishibobo. You're trying to stop that nonsense. That boy was on the bench, Mofo King. He told him, you need to stop this. Boras now all days. Coach is straightforward, Bushra. We don't even have players to look at from under 23. And then we have people, fans who have a problem.
We have Chabuchich.
British Brigade. No, one problem, British Brigade. You look at the two Tawandas. If you want to see when you develop a player, you teach him a system. Look at Jonah. I want to give an example here. Jonah, because he's been trained, he's been coached that defensive mode. Jonah sees things that we don't see. Jonah pointed, player to put up, the player. Guess where the ball went? Muna and end up. That correct decision a second later. That would have been disaster. But because he's been coached as a defensive midfielder, you scan, you see the danger points. You tell the other players, could end up. Oh, but I saw.
I agree with you, Nkoma, and I would love to also support the point in Yamatara, which we now have got a team and the coach Panis Rutonika with Arkogona, Pakazobisca influence the actually we've got a better future. But ndokudzosera kumashure kwedream team yamamitoro yeyo zvokuti maenda kubhora na11 chero timu ichigona sei chiri masupporters eReal Madrid kana Man City vaenda kuground na11 kushaya zvekuita kuya kwekuti kuti tiite nostalgia dzekuti hanzi taenda kubhora na11 takazoonawo
Jana Muda Fana boy, that Fana is the problem. Jana Muda Fana.
He's a problem.
Yeah,
To actually
I had
think
a question.
that like I just say that the slim and don't have to go point the with the slim
He
bala.
wants to
I
say
would like
something
to go
meaningful.
who shares the read.
Go on, Malcolm.
I had a
Ask
question.
your
But
question.
yes,
Yes,
guys, I think
Let's let
going forward though,
yeah.
with Zimbabwe, with don't think it is one I know gara in a party. They don't. You would know. You would know as a player for game ragatu and Alatumbu Tagan Autumbu and Zimbabwe, they make sure you know. Would wait to say so sometimes we have to understand with this at the end of the day, these boys they're trying their best. And you know what? Maybe their best is not just good enough. Secretary says, well,
Coach Kev, as you just seen, Coach Kev, if you see a picture at the progressive of Lunga celebrating with South African players, you would reverse your statement.
yeah, but come on. You know what? If we're being honest, you know what? You do not sometimes, understand how painful it can be for a player. I think sometimes, the one that I know Badar or Maru, what not, when you get paid, it becomes part of you. I personally know Badar, but football is a game, sport is so and now the biggest issue we attack individuals and that can get to them and so I say like my emotions are ukaenda kana paFacebook kana kupi munasi mune muchiudzwa zvose zvese kuti ningi rubbish akadai so hapa akatamba kuti but guess what maybe pamwe coach vanhu ivo vatikutoreoga pamwe it's going to retain them because it's going to think it is they still play a purpose. But it's also we've already moved on from those people because we're looking at that individual mistake. You either say, yeah, it's Tika. Do you think we're going to be supportive of that test? No, we're not going to. And that's why let's have a look at the good things that he has done as well. Because think about it today. Without that header, for me, in any first goal, I'm not going to blame Luka. We have to agree to disagree. I'm not going to blame him for that. But
yeah,
the other goal,
agree to disagree.
I think the other goal, I'm going to used to blame he and Achipavis. But if you take those two, Lunga wasn't actually having a bad game. He wasn't that bad. My way, you know what? But these are things, that happen. You look at Mape.
Did you see him on the ball? Did you see Lunga on the ball?
When he was on the ball, yeah, I did.
Yeah, what he was doing on the ball. He got many opportunities to cross the ball, to pass, but I don't expect with a professional footballer would fail to cross the ball.
He was playing for South Africa.
Yeah, I get that, but did you hear what I said? I didn't say he was playing well. I said he wasn't that as bad as it's portrayed now. If you look at it, you can't say Lunga was a 2 out of 10, would you?
No.
No. Would you say he was a 2 out of 10?
He was a 0.
He was a 6.
He was
Maybe
a 0.
3, 4.
He was a 0 out of 10.
As Lunga made the second goal. That goal to Tawanda Chirewa Razopuwa pass kuna Maswanhise. Lunga hustled for the ball, gave it to Chirewa, and then the pass was made.
And respect the Andinamuka as well. He didn't change the way that he played. Even to my little touches or whatever, he didn't change just because I have panic because that Chisa or whatever. It's testament to someone probably who has been playing, for a while. And as much as even Asha, Nenya kept in where you are. But come on, guys. Would you really want to dive in and do that ball? Would you want to do that?
Yeah.
As a player, what do you want to
Calvin.
Yeah, sure. The boy had no place. I don't know why he was diving.
You can't let a guy make those sort of mistakes.
Okay, can we please mute our mics when you are not speaking?
Guys, I want to say something.
And a microphone with a noise.
You can't let a guy make those sort of mistakes at this level.
Yeah.
It's a game that you have to win. If your guys are making mistakes, take them off the pitch.
Coach,
it's simple as that.
Guys, from my highlights, inini Mesaka for midfielders who pass the ball because there's a beauty in a pass that ends in a goal. You understand? Or there's a beauty in a pass that ends up in the danger box. That's why these guys who play in the top leagues, if he gets a pass and he scores, he points at the guy who passed him. But if I acknowledge, but somebody pass you guys that day, pass ya Chirewa, and then pane pass ya po Msendami na nemzukuru wedu. Gentlemen, I'm
Jonah.
telling you. I'm telling you, gentlemen, we are cooking. Gentlemen, Marinica is cooking. He's very good handy. Yeah, Marinica, let's give him time. Marinica is cooking. Let's give him time. But I know.
I had a question on that, Mr. Ray. Yes, I have a question on that, right?
Yeah.
Might attribute the cooking that we attribute. Why, if you look at South Africa, right? If South Africa plays Brazil today, if South Africa plays England today, they're not going to play a 7-0-3 formation, or they're not going to play defensive, right? By the time what I'm saying, the same attacking kind of play that they do, right? Why is it Zimbabwe is always playing 9-0-1, 8-0-2, 5-3-2, like those kind of formations? Why are we always defending? Because you do not win a game by defending.
Mama, can I answer you?
Yeah,
but today that wasn't the formation.
But by default,
but which
is
default? That's my question. Which default? Because even against Angola, we approach the game, like first half, we approach the game in kind of a defensive mentality.
Yeah.
Why are we always?
Okay.
Why are we
Come
so
in, Cancelo.
defensive minded?
Come in, Cancelo.
No, but when has that ever worked? World Cup qualifiers, no win at 12 games. Yeah.
They almost, this guy, Chonzani Stole, the guy who plays in Portugal.
Yes,
Stole, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they wanted, Vanita says, Coach, I'm the coach, Nini. When I fail, I will resign. You don't have to fire me. I will resign, Dega. And this kuda, he's going to come back. And then akanzitora lochi arikuspaka kuwayadi watu Casablanca.
Why that?
Akati nyaya yoyo hazisatomboindwa. I told you could invest with he's never going to play. You see, because he's set up a system. These guys know each other. The first half when they're attacking us, Chiveshon's Mokwena Chacha, everything revolves around Mokwena. Vango actually defender, Mokwena is always by himself, Batena, he starts going. And then our boys quickly got picked it could okay from there. When they started cutting out those things, those guys, for them to change now to something else was becoming a problem. Because what they're used to doing is, we do this, when we go forward, and then Mudawe and Neoku. When they started putting pressure on the flank, Yangana Lunga, na Msendami, Mudau vatanga kustopa is foraging forward because anga akuzvona it even got worse but azopinza T2 Chirewa papina Mr. Wolves ga abatozona Mudau yakuti mahwana yazozotanga zveshuwa manje. And then Maswanhise pavazogezwa naMaswanhise papa when Maswanhise took them for pizza and sent them, I don't know where he sent them, vabatozona kuti vananga mahwana, they tried to change but it became Zhanza kunetsa because they don't have that kind of system. Coach, he was approaching everything. Our coach was approaching everything with caution because he's not. This guy just had them for a short while, so we can't say he's had time to implement a certain system or style of play. Let's give him time. Tozoona maybe after 6 months to hear kuti kwangu chitiratidza kuti tuta say kutamba say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think we underestimate ourselves, there are people who think that we don't. Just need to know why.
I think it's more.
Well, yeah.
We don't. We don't overestimate ourselves. Pani Mike Iruita noise.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was saying, I don't think we overestimate ourselves. We know exactly who we are, and we know exactly the level that we are. We know exactly that we are not as good as South Africa. We know exactly we are not as good as most other teams in Zimbabwe. But you see, that shouldn't stop us from being ambitious. You see, a game like I said, Angola.
Exactly my point.
If we were not too pragmatic, cheaters without being too defensively minded, you see, put more attacking players on the pitch, we could have won that game. We have to realize those moments. We can go for it, we can't, right? So that game was a must win because we knew definitely against South Africa it was going to be tougher, right? So we could, when we went into the game and we saw these guys were there for the taking, we should have gone all out. You see, so we have to realize those moments when they come. Kutishi, now we have to throw all caution to the wind and go for a win, go for the kill. You see, we know kuti
Yeah, I wanted,
hatigone bhora, but we are not madhanda heads. Makaona zvakaita Bill paipe akazonopotsa ake go bhora, but makaona makusuka kwakaita vanhu kubva from his own box achienda uko. So we have those talents in our team. We have people who have the ability to take us higher than probably where we think we are at. You see, so when we say we overestimate ourselves, I would rather think we are underrating ourselves. You see, there's time where you respect the opponent.
You gave my example. You gave individual brilliance. You gave individual brilliance as examples. When we're talking about collective,
yes,
kundizo iyi team iyi kutizo kana takuta forget kutizo uyiista uyichi kuti zvidhori zvamiswa, because I think I've been watching us taona tichitamba ka Zimbabwe handiti for a long time, and my expectations aripo in terms of how to play. We overestimate ourselves because we put ourselves, just because it's in individuals are not gonna get something doesn't mean we are actually good collective. We are very poor collectively because Achina a proper identity. It's probably starting to come out bichana. And if you like Papa with this coach, he's been there for a short time, but the identity whether the catchers so bloomer because achapiwa time we don't know, because space anything. I'm not gonna go to papa jamari pa saenda tamusagachi mume coach. Every single team that we played, every single team, every single national team that we played against Ugatarisa, the way that even Angola Ugatarisa, so we can beat those teams sometimes, then we can lose against those sides as well. When it comes to system, Zimbabwe, Kukubunza right now, what is our strength? What actually can we do collectively? I've worked here. Never pan about Premier League. Rikauya there, so rinomira apa kumira kuti chest wanda kuti zvese skiri over valego on the paper atambisana vafana vanotamba base chavanongonochesta rikaitongera pati kumisa zvidhori chete kudai. So vafana vangu vekuzimbabwe vanorwa. Why? Because hatina kujairira bhora resystem muzimbabwe. Even until now, until today, national team yedu chaiyo, there's no one. I would want anyone to tell me, this is the identity that we have as a country. And the only way that that can change is giving people a coach.
We cannot have an identity. We cannot have an identity when we are changing coaches every 3 months. You see, coach anofana kupiwa more. That's true. I think when we speak when we are disappointed after a result like this, when we speak when we are disappointed, it's natural you point fingers at the coach. It's natural to hear people and we want the coach to go, but it's a good thing to say tipe coach nguva. You see, I know first is only 3 months and he's only managed 5 games. Todzinga coach after 5 games azvireve chinhu. We need consistency. With consistency comes kuzoita identity of us as a team. We see, there was a time yatakataura discussed formations and we tried to set up in a back 3 and we struggled because the players that we actually have, they suit a back 4. You see, because I cannot imagine tichitamba 3-4-3. My players atina will struggle. We will planeta my areas in the team anenge achileka. But ukatamba 4 like zvaita nas I was not sure about Bill and funga kuti Bill is a number 10. I think if I were a mistake, maybe he was playing a 4-4-1-1. And then, but either way, Bill was supposed to be the number 10. I think Tawanda Chirewa would have been the best position player to play in there. See, but those are things that we are going to learn with time. You see, and Tawanda pass we are pa 10 pachona. We saw that pass that he made. See, we should be guaranteed to know what the coach has won as well. You see, and next game I'm not surprised kuona Tawanda ari number 10 and then Biwa odzokera kuwing where we know that's his position. If we had Bill Antonio on the left, Tawanda Maswanhise on the right, Tawanda Chirewa pa 10, and then Prince Dube up front, that front four is lethal. You see, we can get goals from there. Anyway, coach nguva yekuti anzwisise team yake and set up. Remember, paakauya coach uyu, there was a statement he said he's gonna get us out of the group stages, and I said if he said that statement and he fails to do that, he has to be sacked because he was saying things that were practical, that were not practical. But I know it must have been gossip or something like that. But you see,
But you just said you just said you're ambitious, yeah. So why do you not want the coach to say, we'll get out of the groups? That's confidence as well, yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do it. But,
no, that's being realistic.
That's you are pushing your players as well psychologically to say you can do it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will happen. Remember, everyone comes with a plan. Even boxing, when we sign a plan, but it only takes a punch. And the plan yapinda msango. So with that coach, but he can't come. If he came in and said, my squad, I need 2 months for first round. My meeting had thing. So he's got to show confidence. You know what? I can do this. But it's also, this is when we expect with us talking about the border, to not understand that border, we've got to realize we don't have to be like a fan. It's a God given, right? Now, because the one of the biggest reasons that not successful is due to my players. Yeah. You know what? And I will say this because I've supported Bonnie to come in. Because in the supporter on the basis just like in Fana, Chiguchichi, Chaguchichi, whatever, yeah. Well, whichever way we are now, you know what? He deserves to stay here. We have to give that person a chance, and there could be something that Coach Channing owner, whether it is misguided or not, yeah. Bonnie is actually done okay. If you compare the way Yatamba, the way Yatamba my players anymore. So this is the biggest issue now. Because it happens we do overestimate ourselves because we've got a player who's coming from Tier 4 and he's playing for us. If you're not concerned with that, then you've got a problem. Because we're playing against Nigeria. Yeah? The Cameroons, pro players who failed to get into my AFCON team. And Isusuga, we have a player in 4th tier, Division 8, and we actually relying on that player to hold that play and all that. So that means that statement alone can mean, we are not where we think we are. We are not where we think we are because Zimbabwe national team should never have a player from a 4th tier. If we have a player from a 4th tier, then that means our quality is down. But now can cheat us because it knows what Chirewa, Weku Wolves, Tinamunesi, Weku Wolves, Tina Umvana Zamura, Weku Udinis, Tinanegi, then we think what is we're great.
No, we have my strikers Arutamba in better leagues. We have my strikers Arutamba in better leagues, like Tando Ngwenya is playing in a better league than Irutambwa na Boni. Then we have Prince Dube.
I've just watched it. Apart from Tando, and the Tando, we're not guaranteed with the Tando is going to be our top. And when we're talking about players, you're talking about an individual. And I'll tell you something now, because I know that name you've mentioned it a lot. I don't know whether I would want to watch him, but I don't know whether he's that good or you've got a soft spot for Tando. Because Tando, you've mentioned him a lot. But however, he's a striker, and you've mentioned Prince Dube, who's been playing now. Yeah? He has a Prince been 10 times better than Boni. Yes,
he scored
not 10 times. Not 10 times, but he has scored. He's the only striker who has scored between the two of them.
Why do you go down on Malcolm?
Between the two of them, he's the only one who has scored.
I'm not supporting points you tell on Malcolm.
But in this sense now, Yaguti, you could not see, if you remove that goal, you could not see the difference between the levels, Yana Prince Dube, Nana Malcolm Macaulay Boni. You could not see the difference. You're not going to tell me with Hansi, you can clearly see with the Prince Dube and Tambara, it is 10 leagues higher than Boni. Yeah. So what I'm attacking here is our country, our mindset. Yogufunga Guti, we are that good. We're not there. We are delusional. We are delusional to think that we're that great. We have to have a proper research. If it means like right now with the coach, if we have seen something from this coach, we have to let this coach do what he has to do to get it. Because I believe with some of the players, in whether in Europe and all that, because I've seen so many players who's coming in. We should let this coach what I'm a they should be going, the players, older players, Arubi and all that. Yeah. But we have to give, even if it means we are going to fail to qualify for the next AFCON. But coach here will bring identity to our side. This is what we want. But when we are more bothered about qualifying for AFCON, we are looking at results. We are not looking at how we want to be in future as a national team. That's how I see it.
So like talking about results, right? Here's my thing. I want to go back to what I had mentioned earlier, right? You have Tawanda Chirewa, who's playing for Wolves, in the Premier League, the most difficult league in the world, right? You have Tawanda Maswanhise, who's the top goal scorer in Scotland right now, right? But then when you start a game against a team like Angola, for example, you're playing you're Washington Navayas and Arigana lone striker or something. So like just going back to the point, my thing is, why are we starting these games with a defensive kind of mindset? Why not like what they did against Angola? They should have done that like vice versa. Same with South Africa, right? Why not play your best attackers first? Because we need to win. We need to score, right? Then second half, maybe bring in the conservative type of players. Then we get to defense. Not for you to wait for 70 minutes. Then now that's when you're starting to bring in these, the better attackers. Why not play Tawanda Chirewa in the first half? That way, even if he misses one or two chances, at least he's trying. Because like now, this is how we end up in these kind of situations where we are blaming these players. Let's say those kind of chances, we should get them in the first half. That's when we can, maybe afford to miss one or two. Banguma players achitamba mashura ari ega iri kana 901 formation hapana chatinowina. So my thing is, can you please play attacking football? Approach the game with an attack. The only team in that group that we could have maybe played conservative is Egypt, because we know Egypt is very dangerous. But against a team like Angola, why are you approaching that game with a defensive mindset?
What makes you think that if we play these attacking players, we're going to win a football match? What makes you think that? Have you thought as well that on the flip side, you can actually play those attacking players and actually leave yourself exposed because you're not that good?
Okay, but then that's fine. That's fine. But then we've never tried it. Let's try it first. Then if it doesn't work out, we can say that. Because we've been playing defensive and we keep losing. Lesotho played attacking football against Zimbabwe, they won. Rwanda played attacking football against Zimbabwe and they won. So we cannot say what makes me think, well, yeah.
Yeah, go on, Slim. Yeah, that was good.
I
agree with you, Louis.
But like, yes.
Malcolm, can I come in there?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, Ray.
Let me answer this.
Exactly, because
let me respond to this.
This is the thing. Listen, Bora basketball. Okay, get me right. Basketball, you just need one guy. Bora is a team sport. Whether it's offensive or defensive, the player has a responsibility to play. Unless and until you can all play as a unit, defensively and offensively, do not expect miracles. We need to stop. Bora, you are coached and then you train and then into a system. That's why some players, they flourish in system. You quickly transition from defense to offense and quickly transition the other way around. What is a team sport? Isusu as a country, we are not yet there. We overestimate ourselves. We have 1 or 2, 3 boys. What was Marshall going to do there? Marshall himself cannot bring a collection to the team. We need a coach to be with these guys for a period. You implement what the system he wants. He would coach them the way they're supposed to play, the way he wants them to play. And then when they can all get that system, and then they can all implement that system, where they know kuti tikaruza bhora uyu ndinoendapo yanoendapo tikawina bhora uyu yanoendapo. You know, ukarata team yedu even off the ball running chaiyo karamba wakavatarisa kwakomana ava, do they even know what off the ball running chi? The moment a player has a ball, panovanhu akatirwa maruns ipapo. This is what I'm trying to talk about. As a team, they need to know kuti ende ukonjera bhora rakunoruzwa iro bhora rakairo. You start also positioning yourself until we get to a point where we play in a system where we know each other kuti uyu akadai uyu achadai, not because zvinhu zvanematoma it becomes ingrained in you. Isatashika isi tumva tasvika wamurana anofonera vamwe network.
This is what I think.
Actually a quick example before I go.
Actually,
Let Al come in. Let Al come in, then we can come in.
Say something because I'm coming off. Yeah, quick word. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Nase Tachita says Babuda lineup. We are imagining who is playing where because we don't know. Because younger candidates actually 4 offensive players. And have we ever seen them play for that? We were not sure whether Drew is playing wide or he's playing in the center. We're not sure whether Prince is playing. Did anyone know how we're playing? Any of you?
Okay, I couldn't get
Kevin,
it seems to stop there. How can you come in?
South Africa? Would you get?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that
So,
the indicators for
I
performance
get-
were not there, you guys. From a high performance
Yeah.
perspective, from the get-go, changing
Yeah.
the coach, the camp was shortened. The players were not all there, and then we had all these injuries. The performance indicators were saying this is not going to go well for Zimbabwe. Now we get into the game.
Is an outlay?
We see guys being fielded who maybe weren't the best for the job. And in the high pressure situations, guys like Marvelous Nakamba touching the ball in the box, those are not skills you see people who win tournaments doing. No, seriously, guys. Those are not indicators of guys who are there to win the match. That gave away the game.
So my thing is this, right? Like, I actually agree with the notion LT. Maybe we overrate ourselves, right? We're not there yet. We're nowhere near, right? That's fine. So here's my thing. Inini, I had already accepted that before the tournament even started, that we are going as a team that is maybe 1 or 2 individual brilliant performers, right? And when you go to a tournament like that, like, I mean, let's be honest, right? Like the whole 28 least whatever squad, right? Who are our best players? Maswanhise, Chirewa, and Fabish, Jalai, or maybe Jalai, right? So when you go to a tournament like that, since your best individual players are the attackers, why not utilize them? Why not use them? Now, when you're giving them
problem
only
with that,
15, 10 minutes,
Malcolm, is
and we're not winning, there are no results.
Yeah.
Since when?
I understand. I get you, Malcolm. You want the attackers to be on the pitch.
Exactly.
But let's
Let them
be
play.
honest.
Yeah.
What did we create for example, we played the 4 attackers today, right? What chances did we create for example, for Maswanhise in the first half, besides the goal that he made by himself out of individual brilliance?
Yeah.
I think the coach was looking at, if we look at ourselves, we couldn't string 5 passes in a row. How many passes were South Africa managing to string? Sometimes they would go for 20 passes, looking for openings. They're looking for openings. But we can't do that. The only thing that we were doing was, once our defenders, they didn't have anyone to pass the ball. Once they were under pressure, they would send the ball high. And then hope for the best, hope someone will win the second ball, and then we go ahead. So
Yeah.
even if we bring in the Maswanhise, even if we bring in Chirewa,
Mm.
who's gonna pass the ball to them?
Okay.
If we
So
don't have a system. So usually what the coaches do
mm,
when they start with the team is to build from the back. They start to, if you see most of the biggest coaches, they start building, they start by buying spine. They buy a central defender, like an experienced one. They buy a CDM. They buy probably a central striker so that they have a spine. But in our case, the ones that you're talking about, like Chirewa, is like the best number 10 for Zimbabwe. But Chirewa, if we are to be honest, is not even match fit. He will not be able to last 60 minutes in a game. Because why? Chirewa has only played 12 minutes of Premier League uh, games this season. The rest of his action has been training and PL2 games, which is not really the highest level, but it's good enough for Zimbabwe. But we 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 can't expect him to then come in and compete with players like, for example, we're playing against Anteko or Mukwena. Those are they've been playing in Champions League
match
high
fit.
stage, semi-finals, finals for the past 4 seasons. They are fit players. They've played 20 to 30 games in this past season, and we expect to then go, because once you play attacking football, it means that you now need to do high press. You now need a high line so that you're able to link up the defense, the midfield, and the strikers. So, do we have the material to be able to do the high press
So
to
my
get the
thing is,
ball
yeah.
quickly to our first player?
Okay,
No.
maybe
Do
we
we
don't,
have?
right?
Let me
But
We
finish.
don't.
okay.
Do we have the defenders who can play the high line for us to be able to accommodate all the attacking players? Because once you have attacking players who are up high, you need defenders who can be on a high line. Takwara is not the fastest. Galloway is not the fastest. Lunga is okay, but we cannot say his attribute is that he's the fastest. Munashe Garanganga is not the fastest. He was right back. So how do you fit all the attacking players into a system and be able to then have the team play as a team, as Calvin was saying?
So here's
All right,
what I
can I
think,
answer
right?
this?
Like I had mentioned, the squad was already there. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead. I'll just speak after.
Okay.
Well,
So
so
you're
should I go
talking of
ahead?
pace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Go ahead, Malcolm.
I sat with a stopwatch and I was timing every time Zimbabwe got the ball. Guys, we did not even get to 10 seconds much with the ball. In our possession, 30 seconds was a dream. Average was 3-4 seconds with the ball. We cannot push the ball to midfield. That means there's no midfield line. The only people that played that game was the defenders and the attackers. The midfield was non-existent. You cannot build from defense to midfield to attack. We did not hold that ball. Even 6-7 seconds was too long. The guys would lose the ball. If you see the replay, just sit with your stopwatch. Every time Zimbabwe gets the ball, you'll see that they lost that ball a lot. It's not happening there. So it's very wrong. Something's wrong there.
Yeah.
Here's
Go
my
ahead,
thing,
Malcolm.
right? Yeah, here's my thing, right? Like you said, we're losing the ball. Even playing as a defensive side, we're losing the ball. We're always going to lose the ball. So that goes back again to my point. Like, okay, we are not there yet. We do not have the quality of players, right? And even if you try to play whatever way you play, right, we're still losing these games. So maybe why not try a change for once, Because, the moment you get
Would
in
you
a
accept
game
it
and
if
you
we
give
lost
them the flow,
5-0?
no, but that's assumption. How do we know that? For example, against Angola, right? We had approached that game with the attacking minded kind of play. What was going to be the outcome? We don't know, right? So maybe why not try something different? Because we are sick and tired of this thing where you get in a game and you give the opponents a flow to play whatever kind of play they whatever the kind of like the game plan, you let them play their game plan. Why not create a game plan, then try use it? If it doesn't work, it doesn't. No?
Malcolm, today we had those five attacking players up there.
It
Were
worked.
we able to hold the ball?
I mean, we were, so here's the thing, right? We actually
Were
scored.
we able to hold the ball?
Okay, maybe not that, but we were scoring. If you look at
Yeah.
because we did score today.
Yeah, of course.
And also, and Slim.
Yeah, we're emotional.
And Slim. And the thing is,
Okay.
these South Africans, they know Chirewa. Like when the South Africans nation, ask them about Chirewa. They know about Maswanhise, they know about Fabish, right? The thing is, if you look at those first maybe 10, 15 minutes or whatever, right? We gave them the flow to play whatever game plan that they had, So that's my thing. Let us not even do that, It's because you win a game by scoring. The game starts against Angola. The game starts against South Africa. Attack. If that doesn't work, maybe you can put in your big seven or whatever. I'm not just talking about today's game because I'm also mad about the game against Angola. When the game started, why are you even giving them a chance?
Okay.
That's my thing. So I like Coach Marinica, right? I don't think he has to be fired right now yet because he hasn't played with the Zimbabweans' best players. Give him a Zemura, give him a Mneti, give him a whoever, our best players. First, test him, right? Then maybe if he doesn't give us results, we can let him go. But for now, I'll say maybe let's stick to him, right? But my thing is maybe let's try to invest in attack. That goes the same to the Zimbabwean Premier League too. If you watch the Premier League games in Zimbabwe, it's always 1-1, 1-0, 1-1, 1-0. We do not have attacking minded, I don't know, coaches or what knowledge or something. So please let's invest in attack.
Is it not because does it not come back to the same point that I was talking about? Yeah, number one, it's intensity. Number two, it's being able to handle the ball under pressure. If you look at the South Africans, they've got those Mokenas, they've got those Stole, they nickname Mimiaya, they've got Mbule, they've got those Nkotas, they've got those Apolis. Those players, they were able to do whatever they were doing to us because they're able to hold the ball under pressure. Number two, they're able to press without the ball.
All right. So
that's where it comes in.
Agreed.
So
agreed, right? So I'll take the point, the point that I mentioned, let's invest in attack, right? I'll take that, put it to the side. Please let us invest in attack. Then I guess a recommendation is, can we please play match fit players? This, you bring a player from Division 8 who's a substitute. Mind you, he's a substitute in that Division 8 team he's playing for. He's not even getting game time. He has 1 goal, 2 goals.
He's not a sub. He's not a sub.
No, he's a sub. Look at the base. He's a substitute. He's a substitute, right? No, I'm not blaming you.
He joined the team. He just joined the team.
I'm going to blame a lot of players, not just him, right? Even the local, the knowledge is so on, a lot of them, right? Can we please play match fit players?
Yeah.
This, because what you had said, right? We have players like Musona, for example, right? He's a really good player, but he cannot last a full 90 minutes. Apolis today played the whole game and was on fire the whole game. Mokoena played the whole game. Why? Because he's match fit. So can we please, I don't know how they're going to do it, but let's invest in attack, and can we also play match fit players? Because that's the other thing. I think since 2017, we've been playing these tournaments with good players actually who only go to the tournament and play 1 game. Next thing you know, he's injured, or he cannot play the next game. Oh yeah, I don't know what happened in training and stuff. We're sick and tired of that. We need a player who can play the whole tournament. We need players who can play the whole tournament. Apolis, Mokoena, they've played all the South African games. And I know right now he's on fire for the round of 16 as well. So please, can we play a match fitness? I'll go back to what Coach Francis said about the match fitness thing. Because there's no point of us taking players who only play 1 game and they rest for the whole tournament. I really thought that fitness test thing they did before the tournament started was going to, I don't know, maybe, work in our favor or something, but clearly it didn't. It could have been better maybe if we had Samson or something now.
It actually tells you
It's a scam.
I think it actually tells you the condition of our Premier League,
Yes.
because the coach tested those players for 2 weeks, and so the players that he has taken to Morocco are those players who were actually better in terms of match fitness than those he said he left them. So I think it also tells you the state that we are in.
Yeah. Then I guess
Yeah, I think
I mean I won't lie, it's a hard pill to
I
swallow,
think
man.
match
To
fitness for
that
Zimbabwe
defeat.
is terrible.
Yeah. It's
We
really
would
terrible.
we would not have lasted another game, to be honest with you. With those
Yeah.
injuries, it was game over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you wanted to say something?
Okay, what I wanted to say earlier was playing as a team. I get that, but it comes with giving the coach time, like I said earlier. But what we have to decide is what philosophy do we play? What philosophy do we incorporate as a national team? And for us to answer that question, we need to look at the players that we have at our disposal. And the players we have at our disposal, I think they fit a back four, right? However, there is a way of playing that back four. You see, what happened today, the coach played the back four. I believe it was, some are saying it was a back three. I believe it was a back four. But what was happening was our fullbacks were tugged in, were too close to the centre backs, which left the wingers alone, like unmarked totally. It gave a lot of space to South African wingers. You see, when you do that, then you're always you're already putting yourself on the back foot. Ndopa nanchitaura na coach Kev paipai kuti if you tuck in as a fullback, you are giving that guy too much space, too much room, and with talent that those guys have, you just don't stand a chance when it comes to defending them. That's why you end up making mistakes like the blockage mistake yaitwa na Lunga, because when you then try to go and close down, he's already taken a shot. You see. But if you are as close to him as possible, you see what has to happen in that back four system is the fullbacks get tight to the wingers, right? And then the right center back follows up to support the fullback in defending against the winger, right? And the left center back goes up and helps the left back in defending against the right winger. And then the two center backs the two holding midfielders drop in to act as temporal center backs. That way you are not exposed, you see. So, and it only comes with time. You only learn that with time. When you play together and you practice this in training over and over again, like keep your fullbacks wide, and then supported by their center backs, the respective center back, either the left or the right. And then when it leaves a gap in the center of the goal, the two holding midfielders drop in as temporal center backs to cover that position. You see, and then these are things that you master. Then you need a number 10 that can drop in to cover the gap. Rasiwa Nema dropping midfielders and drop a deep. Then he drops as well deep. So when we are defending as a team. And then when we are attacking, then we are attacking as a team. Those fullbacks then push high up to start pushing back those wingers back. You see, that is a system that can be incorporated. But like I said, we have to give the coach time for him to implement that. For them to tell those players to master how to play that formation. I believe our best formation is a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
But we are still.
Can I come in? Yeah. Is it okay? Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I will say a couple of.
No, you can continue if you're still.
I'll continue. With that with that system. You've mentioned. I'll tell you why as well. Even I mentioned why I said.
Are you done now?
I don't blame.
Okay.
Why I said I don't blame Lunga on that. Yeah.
So, Cancelo, from what you've seen from South Africa,
Kevin was still talking. OJ,
I don't think he can hear me.
Yeah,
is Kevin back?
Kevin was talking.
Okay.
I'll talk after Kevin.
I think
No, I can't
OJ
hear
is the only one who can hear me.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear him?
OJ,
we
can you
can.
hear me? OJ can't hear me.
I
Okay.
doubt.
So you
Yeah,
can
you
go.
cannot. Yeah.
You can give me a signal.
OJ can't hear me. But can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can. I
Okay.
can hear you.
So what I was saying, is that I understand where you're coming from, but the problem is there's only one side at any point that we attacked from. It's either the ball is on the left or the ball is on the right. Yeah. So because of that, at any given situation when you're playing in a 4, even from halfway line, the sweeper is not the sweeper. The sweeper becomes the left back. The left back becomes the sweeper whilst he's got a player, whilst he's player. So he can see his player there and he's the sweeper. And we wait for a diagonal to be played there. And then we can all shift and he becomes a left back. And the right back tucks in. He becomes the sweeper because the both centre-halves, end up picking. So because of that now, you cannot have a situation where the fullback, the left back, is touch tight on the right winger when the ball is on the left side and the right back is touch tight on that. You cannot do that because, in essence, what it means is that the left back, he's concentrating on his player, on the one that should be marking the right winger, but he's not focusing on where it matters the most, which is the middle of the goal. And that's the reason why a left back or a fullback is asked to come inside. When he comes inside, only until the ball is played wide does he have to go there. And automatically, the right back, he leaves his man. He's got to see him. You should see him. You should see where the ball is and where the left winger is. So the right back automatically tucks in and makes it almost like a 3, at the back. But he can see that if the ball is again switched over to his side, he goes out. So it's a routine, which players would always do. I want you to look at it all the time, whenever a back 4 is playing. The left back or the right back ends up being the sweeper. So now what it does, when you're in the box now, like how that situation, how it developed. When you're in the box, I still want to see the video because I want to see exactly where the centre-halves were. But ideally, you expect the left back, he should be able to know that his man is there. But the biggest worry is not that man. The biggest worry is the ball that's coming into the middle of the goal, because they can score without even involving that right winger. So now if the ball, for whatever reason, is played now to the right winger, that's where you have to go out. And sometimes you're not quick enough to go out, but to block that. And this is what happens.
That is always the problem.
It's very natural, though. It's always.
I get what you are saying.
Yeah,
I get what you are saying. You see, when they are attacking from the right, the left back tucks in.
Yeah.
And but the right back has to be touch tight with the left winger.
Yeah.
You see, he has to be touch tight. He cannot come back because otherwise you become too narrow, and they've got all the space in there, like near the byline and all that. So the right back gets touch tight, the left back tucks in. When the ball is switched to the left side, then the fullback swap.
Yes.
The right fullback then tucks in, and then the left back goes out.
Yeah.
And be touch tight.
Yeah.
This is why I was saying Lunga, when the ball switched and went to his men, you are supposed to then go out, and then Garananga tucks in and be more central.
But then that's going to depend, and that's why I said that I'm not going to confirm anything until I see the goal again, because this now depends on the flight of the ball. Because if the ball is zipped, to that right winger, Lunga might not have a chance, might not have time to do touch tight. And that's it. This is where those deflections, come from, because whilst he's going to try to do the right thing, is he quick enough himself, or was the ball quick enough? It was too quick, to get to the right winger, and the right winger probably took, a quick shot, towards goal. So that's the point I was making, and hopefully we'll see it anyway. We'll see it, and we'll see whether Lunga actually was late in going out, or it was the how the ball was played, that put him in that position. Unfortunately, those things will always happen, because I remember. This happened when on one time I was playing, and so I was still actively playing, but I was player manager there, and I'm playing in the middle of the pitch, in the middle of the park. The lad I was playing with, we were playing in a 3, and what happened was I was dragged out of position. Yeah. So
I didn't go all the way out, but I just positioned myself where I can see the light, I can see the player, and also I can see who's running with the ball. Unfortunately, the player who had dragged me wide, he then spun and started making a run, behind me. So when I followed him, the guy who was bringing the ball, a midfielder who was running right through the middle of us, we had a left-sided midfielder. He let him go because he was picking. He was picking, the usual, I'm picking my man. Instead of sensing danger and instead of being out a bit wide, come inside and stop that runner from, running on his own. He left him. And it was actually a centre-half, if I remember, And he ran all the way and he scored. Do you know what he said? He said, but I was picking my man. This is where sometimes, what people don't understand, the basics of football, where it's not about your man. You could pick your man and leave the man who is more dangerous, and we concede a goal. So you're saying I'm not at fault for that goal because it wasn't my man. But actually, you're the one who's cost us the game, because this is where you help each other. And this is where people, you sort of have to have an understanding, of the game. And that thing lacks within our national team, because people don't really know what to do when they're on the ball and when they're off the ball. It's well and good when the coach is telling them, he's got 2 weeks or whatever. He tells them, this is what you do, this is what you do. And we say, most of them are professionals. They should get it on whatever. But there's a difference between getting it and actually mastering it. Yeah. So we have a situation, like I mentioned, prior to coming off here. And I said, we having a situation where we have 11 players and we second guessing where those players are playing. So just imagine this, If Prince played as a number 10 against Egypt, and today he was playing as an out-and-out striker, what are the chances that he's actually mastering his position? Which position? Which position does he master? Does he master the number 10 role? Does he master, as a lone striker? Where can you say Prince will just do something like that? A second nature, because he understands this position. He's always playing there. The moment you change a player, it's like you having Martinez for Man U. He came on and played defensive midfield, and he did a job. But there's a difference between doing a job and actually being good at it. And because when you put Casemiro in there, he can do things whilst his eyes are closed, because he knows that position. But if you put Martinez, he could show signs of, he's good, he's all right, but he's not the one who's going to play in there for 10, 15, 20 games. So we are in a position now where the players that we have don't even know where they're going to be played, because we do not have a situation or a scenario right now where players actually know where they're supposed to be playing. Am I going to play? Is Maswanhise going to play as a 10? Is he going to play as a wing back? Is he going to play as a right winger?
Is he going to play at all?
Is he going to play at all? So these are all the things, that sometimes we fail to put into consideration. Just because we look like we're going to win a game doesn't mean that we've covered most of our issues. Because, like I've mentioned before, Grimsby could afford beating Manchester United, but can you put Grimsby and Manchester United there again? You could probably lose 10-0. Plymouth could afford beating Liverpool, but if you put them again on a second game, would they do the same thing? And this is what's happening with Zimbabwe. The near misses that we have, we always have but we could have had this game. But probably that lack of quality collectively, and I keep repeating this, collectively, because I'm not doubting our quality and talent, that quality collectively of knowing where you should be could be the reason why we are losing the games. And how many times do teams lose 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1 until you get relegated? And every game you'll be like, oh yeah, but we look like we're getting better. Oh yeah, actually, we think we're getting better. But you keep getting battered.
Yeah, football is a game of small margins.
Small margins. Because everyone can put the ball to right back, put it to left back, to centre half, switch it recycle it to left back, give it to wide man, bring it back again, and then launch it. Everyone can do that. From Sunday League, to Premier League, to national teams. Everyone can do that. But there is small margins where you see quality, with the teams, and the teams that actually play together. and teams that are not used to playing together. Zimbabwe, we now have players at a minimum, not very high quality, but we have enough young lads now who are coming in. And you know what? Even that lad, yo Chakuchichi, whatever, even that lad, he's one of the young lads who will be, who you'd expect, will start, sort of coming into the fray, but doing well and end up, being, all of a sudden, that kid, where he's playing and he's undroppable. We actually dropping, star players there. But as long as we only have quality players without a quality system, we're not going anywhere. We'll be back here in 2 years, 3 years, whenever AFCON is, and we'll be talking about the same thing over and over and over again. Because Zimbabwe, this is what we do. Because right now, the powers be, or most of the fans, they'll be thinking, okay, we got 1 point. You know what? This coach doesn't deserve, to be here. He's got to go. It doesn't surprise. He goes, we bring in another one. We could have Mourinho, like I said. We could have Pep with these players without the time to actually implement, what he wants these players to do. We'll just be found in this same position all the time. We need to cut our clothes accordingly and realize that we are inferior. As a side, as a system is non-existent. We are inferior. For quality to build on, we've got a lot of quality coming in, and I'm sure we'll do well. But at the moment, no. The example that I gave, was the one that just defeats everything. It just shows you everything. When we played against Angola, we would know Angolan players where they play, without a doubt. You would know. If you know Angola, you knew who was playing where. You were not thinking, whether this player is playing wing back or he's playing as a striker. We played against South Africa, you knew the same thing. You played against Egypt, you knew the same thing. It's only Zimbabwe who each spring surprises. And you know what? Sometimes that's why we even cause problems for teams, because they don't know what to expect. They do not know what to expect because we just all over the place at the moment, because no one knows where they're playing. Where you think Bonnie is going to start, he's on the bench and Prince is starting. Where you think Prince is starting, no, Navai is starting, and maybe Prince is in the hole. We just all over. It's almost like money game. That's the position where we are in.
Agreed. Cancelo, you're the one who was watching South Africa mostly. What do you think about their prospects and on the background of their performance and the other performance they've had?
Honestly, like in this competition, they have a chance of progressing to knockout phases and a quarterfinal, semi-final. They do have a chance of progressing, because you can look at their organization. Yes, sometimes they are vulnerable because they push the two fullbacks high and they try to cause that overload to the right backs and left backs, and then they try to find it to give the ball to the inside man, and then it's actually dangerous. That play is actually unpredictable, because if you look at the Club World Cup again, the same thing happened when Chelsea played PSG. It was actually Malo Gusto and Paul Palmer teaming up to create that overload on Nuno Mendes, and then when doing that, Paul Palmer scored 2 goals on the same position. So it's like that actually play who invert my fullbacks. It's actually a
Are they vulnerable though on the counter? Like they're suffering against.
They're very vulnerable. Honestly, they're very vulnerable. If you saw today, Modiba, that guy from South Africa, he was caught out of possession. It was just one ping pass from Chirewa to Maswanhise, and then we had the goal. So they can be actually dangerous, but that's the thing. In Africa, it's like a fast football. So if you saw yesterday the game for Cameroon and Ivory Coast, if you saw Diallo's goal, just one pass to Diallo, and with the space, you'll finish. But semi-final, quarterfinal,
they can reach.
They will try. I think they're even more dangerous than Egypt.
You think so?
Like the question. I think so. And the question. So hii scenario ya Mataura yekuti you try to make the left back attack in. When in today's game, if you look at that guy Mudau and the other guy he was playing with Moreno vanga vachiuya vari two. So if you have 2 players coming in, it's like you're gambling that you have to intercept the cross or whatever, the cutback. You chase one Mudau, because if he beats Lunga and Lunga is already out of position, apana, we're outnumbered. Then there's a home box. So,
Can you explain to me
how
where
do
is
you
the ball coming from? Is it coming on Lunga's side or
Where
is
is
being
the
attacked
ball?
on the opposite side?
It's coming from. It's being attacked on Lunga.
We're being attacked on Lunga's side. Then Lunga has got to be out there, yeah?
The Lunga has to be
Lunga
touch
has got
tight
to be
with him.
touch tight if he's being attacked from there. The point that I was making is when the ball is coming from the other side. From the other side,
Other
the
side.
left back has got to tuck in because you
Okay.
don't worry about a player who's out wide there.
Yeah.
He's not a problem there. The immediate
He doesn't
danger,
have the ball.
the immediate danger is what's in the middle of the goal there, because the centre halves, once that fullback has gone there, and you've got even like sometimes you have third men running of midfielders and all that, and the centre halves are pulled to that because naturally the first centre half, say it's the right back who's gone out, the first centre half who goes to the near post, yeah, is the right-sided centre back, yeah, and the next one he pushes in, yeah, that leaves a gap now. That gap is filled in by a left back, but when the left back fills that gap in, that means he's left his man there on the other side. But this is where you're not supposed to be facing your body positioning now. You're not supposed to be facing there with your body, like, all your body is facing where the ball is coming from. It's when you open your body. It's like you're facing your center,
Yeah,
your center circle, where
Side.
you just turn
Sideward.
your head, you looking, your eyes, they say your eye, this part of your eye is seeing what's happening there where the ball is, and the other side is seeing where your player is to make sure that if he's going to make a run across you, you can intercept, if the ball is coming there. But if he stays there, as long as you can see him, you deal with the problem that you have on your right side. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. So yeah, whenever you that technical type of player and kwanza ku understand those small money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, again, in today's game, I felt like Zimbabwe had this ginger, chop chop, because the way they were playing the first minutes, my long balls, it's risky, wow, because say we were losing the shape.
Yeah.
We are losing the shape, and our mid block system, that would compa. So I don't know. Maybe it's an instruction they were told by the coach. You never know.
Do you know what it is? The one thing that you find of teams playing like that, the issue is that if you don't have people with who are brave in the middle of the park to receive the ball under pressure, you've got a problem, because you don't have any other outlay other than the midfielders. Yeah. Otherwise, the next outlay is putting the ball over.
Yeah.
So you want, and this is why, you see, look at this, and this is how crazy football is. Manchester United playing a formation where you've got Bruno in there and Casemiro in there. Mainu looks utterly rubbish. He is poor playing in that role. You just change it to 4-3-3. Mainu will be one of the first names on the team sheet. You know why? Because Mainu is one of the best players at receiving that ball under pressure and changing that from defense into attack. He's very good at that. So that role is where you find not many midfielders, especially from lower rankings. That's where they struggle there, because if they try to play there, they lose the ball. So they worry about losing the ball. So Mave is not good at that. Jonah, now and again he does it, but you can tell that he's not overly comfortable doing that.
He's not comfortable.
So we do not have anyone who's going to say, put the ball there, just put it to my feet. It doesn't matter that we're in our defending third. Put it there. I'm going to, drop a shoulder and turn and play it wide. We don't have that. So we have players who want to receive the ball when they're absolutely sure that there's nothing around them. But then our defenders, because they're under pressure from the strikers, they don't have time, to wait for you until you see the whole picture and see that, no one is going to, but get the ball off you. Yeah. And that's the reason why you are told that one of the best players to ever play, in Premier League is Paul Scholes. It's not because he was, the most skillful player in the world. No. All he did was he knew that he would demand it, and he will play it, and he will come out of that. He will 9 out of 10 times. He gets the ball. He's coming out of, no matter how much pressure, is being put, to him. So Zimbabwe, because we don't have players with that ability, yeah. If you look at even Nigeria and all that, they have what's his name, the Fulham guy,
Didi.
Iwobi.
Iwobi can go and receive the ball and he turns,
Yeah.
where you think you can turn. People underestimate that guy, how good he is.
He's very good.
But he can easily make that transition from defense into attack so easy. Yeah. But because we don't have that, and there's no time for defenders to stay on the ball, the
Even the
only
South
option now
African we
they
faced,
have is
Mukwena.
because get it out of danger. So every time we are now looking at playing from a second ball. But then we don't win that second ball because even if we've got a big striker there, he's on his own. He's isolated because our midfielders are deep. So when we played there, you could see, say, Bonnie is playing there and he wins the headers, but he's just winning the headers, but it means nothing because he's heading it to South African players. You see, that's the difference. But unless you play 3-5-2, yeah, and say these 8 are going to defend. When we're defending, these 8 are going to defend, but you're going to leave the 2 strikers close to each other, such that when you win it, when you play it, you're going to play it sort of instead of playing it like I say a rocket pass, you're going to play it, one like a sort of a high ball where say Bonnie is the back to goal striker, yeah. The player who is playing off him has got to be quick. And it's either he's going to make that run across Bonnie to get it, to his feet, or he can see that ball, Bonnie can only flick it. So already he's on his bike. I would rather that player is offside. He's caught offside because he's anticipating that Bonnie is winning. Because if you don't anticipate and you wait for Bonnie to win it, by the time, this, I always say this, that reaction because he's won it, that split second is the difference between you winning the ball or not. Because once it's flicked, the defenders straight away they're getting onto the ball. But if you were already making that run, the chances of you getting that ball is high. So how do we learn to come out of our half and still maintain possession? That's the biggest challenge we have.
Yeah, that's it. And also, the thing, and I want to SA is, yeah, they are football. It's ball possessions, but Aina those specific rotations. It's not only a team like Manchester City that you can actually capitalize. If you have those main rotations, you don't know who's gonna receive the pass and who's gonna whatever. You don't have that. In SA, it's like I don't know. It's like this U shape. We're going to left back, we're going to center back, we're going to right back. It's good football because you have the ball, but actually you're not actually detecting because on a team it is very, very compact. It in a mid block, like Egypt. Egypt with 10 men. Yeah, they actually capitalize. They can't do anything. They can't do anything.
Yeah.
It will be.
I think they should utilize that Foster guy. I think his order of play was very good, and he was able to drop deep a bit and then pass it on to the white man.
Yeah, and OJ, did you see the 2 pass which was intercepted by Arubi with the head?
Yeah.
That one was dangerous. That was a killer pass. Yeah, that was one. Yeah.
Yeah, Papa Cape. So guys, you have agreed with that's a Tingay coach, but yeah, with Zimbabwe, that the coach is always gonna go in this case.
Yeah, I know, maybe not. Here's what I think, right? Like I think Coach Kelvin mentioned, even if you bring a Pep Guardiola in this team, you bring a Jose Mourinho in this team, it might be the same results, and I think this all goes back to investing in our grassroots. That 400,000, that $1 million you're giving to the Warriors, can you please give that money to BN Academy, Aces Academy, Coach Marino's Academy or something? Let's invest in our grassroots first. We should also treat football as a business. You invest in your business, you get a good return. Don't just hope for miracles.
So
this is why
you don't want the boys to get cars.
No comments. No comments. But here's the thing, even if you give Marvelous Nakamba 20,000, like, oh, hey, here's 20,000. Can you please win the game against Egypt? We're not going to win it. Even if he runs out, He might die because he's not match fit, you know. So please let's invest, let's invest in our grassroots. Let's invest in these academies. Where's the under 23 squad? Where's the under 21, under 17, 18? You know, because
Yeah,
this thing of taking shortcuts all the time, clearly it's not working. In 2004, it was working, you know, although we didn't go beyond go to the knockouts. You know, those guys were really good. Like at that time, I think Zimbabwe was ranked number 36 in the world FIFA world rankings. Right now, Zimbabwe is ranked number 36 in Africa, number 129 in the world, you know. And this is because we no longer have a strong grassroots. Yet Zimbabwe stayed in the same path like back in 2004. By now would be something, you know. This is what I don't know if you follow Tanzania. This is what they're doing right now. They're not there yet, but I can tell you in 2030, Tanzania will be a different story. Why? Because they're
Uganda.
investing in grassroots. Yeah,
Uganda too.
Uganda too.
Mm.
Morocco did the same thing. Morocco literally did the same thing. Look at Morocco right now. They just won is it under 21 World Cup or something? Under 17? You know, you know, they're not shortcuts. Please, let us not take these shortcuts of just hoping for the best, you know. It's okay, we bring in, you know, our British brigade, our, you know, I don't know, whoever is performing well in the competitive leagues, right? But this is why we have what we had talked about earlier, the individual brilliance. Because of that, you know, Maswanhise is far apart from teenager Dube. You know, it's not, those players are not even supposed to be playing in the same team because the quality is not even,
Do you see, Malcolm? That's
So,
why
yeah.
when we're clamoring for, you know, when I talk about European-based players, and I always go on about Europe, and some people would think that I'm biased towards European-based players, and I'm saying it from a knowledge point of view, from an experience point of view. It's nothing to do with the fact that I live in UK. It's something to do with the fact with what I saw here and how these players, you see, the players like Maswanhise and all that, because of the system that they grew up in, for national team, it doesn't take 2 seconds for them to be told something and they catch it. Just like that, because the system that they grew up in allows them, it's given them so many variables as a player that it's not difficult to catch. And that's the reason why you see the Nigerians and all the Cameroonians, you know, the first pick will be European-based players, American-based players, because the resources that are there in the game from a young age, or even someone, you know, just moves, you know, maybe it's not that young, but they move into these European-based, you know, countries, you know, even if they're in lower leagues, what they get from that, you know, is understanding. And you could see, as much as we've talked about, you know, and messed about the issue with Bonnie and all that, even some of the things that he does, you can see that this guy was coached. This guy grew up in an academy, grew up in a system, because remember, I diss our league in the sense that, look at it, you know, even for him, he doesn't look out of place in our national team. But look at the league that he plays in.
Yeah.
So it really creates a big problem for our national team, because we have too many local-based players in our national team who cannot do the basics. They can play. We've got you know, like you mentioning, you know, soccer star of the year, Navaya, yeah? And when people are talking about him, it's almost like he's never played football. Do you get what I mean? Because he wasn't born into that system. Yeah, of course, he would have benefited from Marino and all that, you know, but it's not a system. It's not an academy or a system, you know, that is like what you get from here. Because it's not just about, you know, when you're looking at academies here, they look at everything, every detail of you. They're looking at whether even your legs, you know, are they the same height? You know what? There is a difference, you know, in height, you know, on your legs. You know, what do we do? You know, are you compensating too much, you know, on your left leg because of your right leg? You know, what are you eating when you're growing? You know, what do you need to eat? You know, to be able to be in a certain place? Then the tactical part of it as well. It doesn't matter that you are not is very skillful anything, and they don't even rely that much on the skill. They just rely, if you are good at passing the ball, you're strong, athletic, you can pass the ball, and you've got a brain, you can play, yeah, and they're good at that. So now we have a situation where we have players, loads of players we are choosing from. Even in this squad, we having one after another, local players coming in. But when it comes down to it, and you're looking at them on the pitch itself, and you're thinking they're playing against Egypt, but those Egyptians, but Salah doesn't even need to look, to see where he's putting the ball, because he knows that the lad he's playing with, he's going to be in there. He doesn't even need to lift his head. Yeah, it's something that they just have, just like that. And we have players who are that, I would say, that poor that we can have players from lower leagues playing in that national team. But they're the bulk. The local players are the bulk of the players that we have in the national team. So what hope do you really have? If take emotions aside, take everything, take whatever you, and just look at it from a football person, from an objective point. What hope do we have when we're relying on the majority of those players, and we are playing? We can draw against Nigeria on a one-off game or two-off games or whatever, but does it mean that we're drawn against Nigeria, we as good as them? No chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think that's
these are the problem we're facing, because there's no money that's being invested into those leagues. So even now, if they start investing in those leagues, it's going to take years. It's going to take a lot of years. So now, because we don't have the patience for that, we want a quick fix. We're always going to demand a quick fix, and we're never going to get that quick fix. And we're always going to fall out about it, because we're not where we want to be. Because we think, we can just do it just like that. It takes a 9-year-old, to start understanding a system until they're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. And we are saying in 2 years, we should be in a better place. Better place where? How about the players, the local players who are playing in our local Premier League now? Who is going to teach them the basic things that they were never taught? Because they're already in a system. They're actually earning a living out of a game that they have not been taught well. Who's going to teach them?
Yeah, but Ananzani, Zifa president had, I think it was in his manifesto, he said something about an inter-coaching relationship that is going to start something with Morocco. Like some of our coaches are going to go to Morocco and be trained, and then some of our young players as well would go, either the coaches from Morocco would come and help our grassroots football grow up. But no one has mentioned anything of that sort since he came on. So I don't know what is going on, but can someone hold him accountable to his words?
Yeah. I think that partnership is brought on those friendlies that we played in Morocco. I think it was against Burkina Faso and Niger. That was the only thing that came out of the partnership. But as you said, yes, we need someone to hold him accountable, so that we have clear plans, we have clear objectives that are there, and clear plans that are said to be each by such and such a time. And then we see them being implemented. And if they are not done, we go and ask questions why they are not being done. Go on, Malcolm. You want to say something?
Yes, I want to say, please, can you write a book, stick to it, right? Make some goals, stick to those goals. I actually liked the president's interview. I think it was with Yvonne. The FIFA president with Yvonne, and he kind of had he had a plan. He did talk about grassroots. They also introduced this initiative of engaging with primary schools where they have I know tournaments or something and all that. Can you please do that? Why? Like I had mentioned earlier, even if you give these players $10 million, they're not fit enough. They do not know the basics. That is why we can only last 10 seconds with the ball, then we lose it.
Yeah.
Havana training yakakwana. They don't, havanaita makono ana, pana havana training yavanayo. So it's Navaya, yes, you're the top goal scorer in Premier League, but you're not a proper striker. You don't know the fundamentals of being a good striker. Why? Because I know Madzidza, So if anything, that's why I was saying we cannot hope for a miracle. Miracle, yes, you can get it in the Zimbabwean Premier League. You can be a top goal scorer. That is sorry, but that is why people believe in juju now. Because of things like that. Where you do not even have the fundamentals of being a proper striker, but you're the top goal scorer.
Wakupinda open good.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you, but
Yeah,
like to
also,
be honest, please let's invest here. You can go on Cancelo.
yeah, true. But yeah, in terms of the basics, oh man, it only takes, simple things.
Exactly,
Half
man.
10, you've already changed what one more
Yeah,
time.
But it's a
it's
it's
the
a
Because
half
the
basic
ten
cover,
under
things.
man,
Yeah.
why do you have
pressure.
to be,
It's a half ten under
No,
why
pressure.
do you have to be,
it's the
guys,
basics. They cannot
I don't know
even
why you
make,
need years to be like a
not
fifth center
five,
back.
five
Back
straight
six,
passes. They can't. Five my
man,
pass, or
You
look,
see
six
what
Sergio
pass,
Busquets,
happens?
he
pass,
doesn't
pass. They
have
can't.
pace. Sergio Busquets, that guy, he doesn't have pace. But look at the way he detects the game. Half 10, he's gone.
But we should
You
Already.
speak
see,
about Galloway,
The game
pane
will
guys.
make.
zvinhu ndataura zvekuti we have to give the coach time yekuita build this team, right? You see what was happening, why we were not able to keep the ball for longer periods of time. So when one guy is on the ball, he didn't have immediate support around him. You see, so he cuts back, he looks back, and then the defender is so far away. Then he thinks, oh, I cannot put the ball that far back. He turns back again. He looks up front. There's no one around him. You see, there's that issue of making triangles, like when the player is on the ball, two other players go, one on the left, one on the right, give him options, you see, so that he can either pass to the left, pass to the right. He has options. We are not doing that. So this is when we are seeing the guy will then launch it long because ana options are
Option.
padhuze naye. And those things ndozvekuti coach with time anotanga kuzotaura naye kuti aiwa when your left back receives the ball, you always drop deep, umpe option. You will Galloway push her up a little bit when on receive a ball, kana kuti Lunga, whoever. You see, those things, I hope kuti nekufamba kwenguva, then our coach will be able to do that. But for him to be able to do that, he has to be given time. You see, I always worry about the firing mentality yanga ine Zifa. You see, pakadzingwa Brito had started very well, and he had suggested things that he noted things that he wanted improved. You see, we cannot be firing coaches for needing a helping hand to improve our football. So we can only hope, like whatever OJ kuti totogona kuhopa hedu kuti coach anopiwa time, tinoziva kuti anopedzisira adzingwa and taita back to zero. Takataura before the tournament started, and I was saying this tournament is almost like a training session. After the tournament ndopatinotanga kumupa time kutiona, because he was never going to come out of this group. He was never going to come out because preparations dzedu for this tournament were shambles. We had zero preparations. It was like he was set up to fail to begin with. But anyway, Gatyumpe a clean slate from now onwards. But give him another year, give him 2 years. At least that way, tonight I say we can set up a philosophy, style of playing. Then coach ananema players. I think the more you spend, mese mujairani, ndozvinoitika izvozvo. So takamupa time nema players, and then zvinhu izvozvo zviri basic, even though iwo maplayers edu ekuzpsl ari kunzi they are lacking in basic things that they should know, then eventually but however katasana fusire vai vakakura in proper academies, like KV was saying. You see, okay, ndozvamuroda kuti tiite, go and give support to your mate, and then he goes. Zvinhu zvakadaro izvozvo hazvinesi kuwabata. Then that way tinotanga kuita keep the ball much better, and as a team we become better overall.
Yeah, great. Guys, so do you have any other horses that you'll be running with for the rest of AFCON? Any teams that you're supporting South Africa?
South Africa. I have a soft spot for Senegal. Yeah, Senegal too. But yeah, South Africa too. Yeah.
But
They
I know
don't like
Morocco is
you.
going to win it.
You think so? I don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Then
Morocco
Morocco,
is
home
winning
advantage.
this.
Nigeria. So Nigeria
Eh,
too is coming
Nigeria
in
Morocco is
last.
winning
strong.
this.
Yeah.
So Nigeria is coming in strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tunisia.
There's
Yeah, they
that
think.
guy. I don't think at number 10 where that guy is a bowler from game, but they started slowly. I think that's why they lost the game.
Yeah, yeah. Then and that reminded me of
Why
the
would
old Tunisia of the likes of Trabelsi, Dos Santos, that we watched around 2004. That Tunisia
And
team
Ivory
was.
Coast, Cancelo. And what do you think of
So
Ivory Coast?
Cancelo says Ivory Coast.
you know? Yeah, the thing with Ivory Coast is I like the way they are approaching the Guti. I was going to chance experience. Zaha was
Yeah,
out the game versus Cameroon, and they go in for that guy who's doing well who plays the Yan Diomande.
yeah.
Yeah, that was very
Yeah, they are not afraid.
I've got a soft spot for Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it
and
because of Ahmad?
no. I've always
Cristiano?
way before when it was the Drogba's, the Kalous, and all that. I've always had a soft spot for them. So I hope they do well. I love football, and I really study games. Yeah, but it becomes difficult now. When your team is gone out,
It's out.
you still watch. But
Yeah.
the love,
Yeah.
the love for it, you just kind of you're in a position now where you can miss a game and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You like, wow, so what? It's not like it's not like we would have gone on to meet them or something. You just kill the
Yeah.
vibe. But
Isn't this the tournament? Did we ever win? No.
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 This is the only tournament. I did the other ones. Taizo win. I do one.
No,
There
there was that other one. There was that other one. Is it the Pasua one where we drew with? Yeah.
Algeria.
Yeah, we were smashed that tournament. At least this tournament, Kanchi Torera.
But paunyatsona kuti bhora rinorwadza. So if you think about it, kuti mistake aitika soga, they were so avoidable.
Yeah.
It's
Especially today's game.
pane mistake ekuti kana kuti uda kuclear wobva washuti wobva waroabara mugedhi mako.
Yeah.
But
And
That was uncalled
I was
for.
actually surprised with even Nanonzani. Arubi should have told him. Arubi should have told him, leave it. You see,
the ball is not gonna pace.
Yeah.
The ball is not gonna pace. That ball,
Like, what was that?
If anyone was on the group, I said it's time for Marvin to come off.
Yeah, you said it.
That was like 10 or
Yeah, I
so
think it's fatigue too.
before.
I think that was
You
fatigue
could see,
too, that
Yeah,
decision.
because the one thing that I
Yes,
saw
that's
is
the
fatigue. This is the thing. And when you
Sorry,
use
Coach Kevin.
Yes.
Can you I've seen a lot of people asking, or a lot of people ridiculing us on the Facebook page when we talk about match fitness. Can you please explain the concept of match fitness to people and how
Match
it
fitness.
affects it?
So match fitness, let me try to put it in a very
Simple way for them to
simple way.
understand.
I did it.
Yeah.
The match fitness, I did it. Ndikaenda kunomhanya inini. Ndichienda, let's just say kuti ndikutamba bhora. I did it. Ndoenda ndonomhanya ndonoita ma-shuttles. Ndoenda ndonorona 10K. And I feel tired foot. I get fit. Difference now iripo pa-match fit ndeyekuti kana uchitamba bhora, you don't run in a straight line. Unomhanya all the ways, muscles are going to uchiatena directions, every direction possible. You start stop yachona was sprinter panapo wamira was sprinter foot, you backpedal, you go sideways, you jump for the ball, and you do it for 90 minutes. Yeah. That takes a lot out of you than just a straight run. You're going to manya kana kuti ndikunoita 10K or whatever. And also, it's not just about the fitness itself. Uchitamba touch yako inogona kuita ka little rust kamwe kekuti vamwe vanhu pamwe havatogona kutokaona kuti karipo. But the more you keep involving yourself with the ball, that confidence comes back. Now match fit yako is coming from the actual bowling, the actual touching yebora, and also lungs how you open your lungs uchitamba bora, which in a game situation. Somehow in a game situation, you just open your lungs way more than you do kana uchita any normal training. So that's where the match fitness comes. Munhu akatamba one game akutotanga kugaina match fitness, but asati areacha ceiling yake. The more that they play now, malungs ake ari kuvhura more, akukwanisa pape paanga achikwanisa kumhanya 35 minutes, aramba achiita lungs ake akumita kuti akwanise kumhanya 45, 60 to 90. But then, remember as well, kana uri kubuild a match fitness, une muscles ako, let's just say muscles ako are intensity. That's why uchiona some people, they will come back, but they're not going to wait ka slow down. Even my manager not going to okay, I know you can play 90 minutes, but your muscles are not ready for that. So I'm going to play you a certain amount of time. We build up until utazosvika pekuti wakuchiendachi wakuenda ku 90. So someone might have been known as the fittest guy, but you cannot cheat issue match fitness, because match fitness, it's not something anyone can you can't buy, and you don't have a shortcut. It just comes gradually through playing. And no matter, there's not enough training that you can do that can prepare you to play intensity a game for 90 minutes. You have to play that 90 minutes. You have to play that 30 minutes. That's why you see makocha anopinza munhu kwasara 8 minutes kana 10 minutes, yeah. Watombona mamanyira anoita munhu mu 8-10 minutes, unogona kuti and because you are eager as well, ukuda kuti bhora riuye pauri, you look for it, you keep une energy more than vanhu vari mumupitch meya uri kuopena kana breathing system yako kuvhurika because uri kuita that running. So that helps you as well. There's so I don't know whether I explain enough. I don't know, Malcolm, do you have anything to add? But that's the premise of match fitness. So when you see, like
I wanted
say,
to ask you a question.
So how does it affect in a game situation? Say you are training fit, but you are not match fit. What difference does it make? If, let's say you're defending or you want to pass. How does it affect?
Okay, let me give you an example. Let's just say at my fittest, Daroa run off the ball. Manya behind the right winger. Ku goal line. And then I have to come back into midfield and sprinter foot. Yeah. If I had been playing week in, week out, that won't affect me because I'll be fine. No, it's heavy breathing, but and now affect one as a if I had not been playing and I'm not match fit, pandinot zoga, no mira pa center seko papega, panogona uti, ndichida kungotanga kungofema dai so bora reiswa nepamberi pangwa and naga na energy yacho. Yekuita say to actually start again, quit a sharp best to get that ball. So now, maybe the way Yaratambo, people might not notice, me at my fittest, I would have got to that ball, but I didn't manage to get to that ball. People might not see that, but in Indugu's result, they kwanza kushika pa ball. But I now kwanza kushika because I could not do a second burst of lungs. It's just 2 seconds after ndavoneta rani. Saka muna sina match fitness will cost you, because where you expect them to get onto the ball, sometimes they won't, or sometimes they will just walk. So let me give you an example here, Marvelous. But what he does, an experience, so some people will not see it. Marvel, because he had not been match fit, he realized, if I push two forward, a Bola behind me, I have to be seen as one of the first midfielders to help defense. Saka, it will be difficult for me. So instead of covering that ground, I'm just going to sit closer to defenders. When he sits closer to defenders, he's then creating a massive hole between him and the strikers, because he should have been half and half. But he's not doing half and half. He's more closer to defenders than he is to strikers. Now, what it means is, when we're defending, you see him there,
Yeah.
but he's not helping us. Patambotaura paipe kuti when we win the ball, the defenders have got the ball. Without him, I say, I open up, I push it for a little bit forward. Could I start a play, transit into attacking? He's not doing that. But unozwa kuti vamwe vanhu vanoona chizvonzi but Arubi chiri kuvhara uona ichi atadza kuenda pabhozi anga achivhara but ukatarisa starting position yake chaiye he's deep, he's too deep because ari kuzviziva iye pache zvake ari kuzviziva kuti zvandina muongo wachona wekuita start position further forward because I won't be able to get back in time to help my defense. So now a coach should know that because anofanira kuziva kuti izvo apa pakadai so munhu ari kusita deep. You know madefender chaanokutaura madefender anenge achiti come off our toes, off our toes anditi but unogona kumurapa uchimuona chi aripo ipapo, then that means munhu ari kuita sei ndo vanhu vanonzi vari kuseveredza energy game. And hence you hear sometimes coaches saying go out past your gut uganeta after 60 minutes you come off but the next game you play because you've given your all. But vanhu vari experienced now vanochita, they will last 90 minutes vachiita the bare minimum and not everything that is supposed to do. Do different than that. So zvangofanana kuti pandaitamba ndakura inini ndichitotamba step 6 and inini I told you I last played step 6 last year when I was 48. Okay. Yeah, I knew kuti I can't be running up and down. You know, at this synergy, I'm fit, but I'm deny energy. Achona like these young players. I'm old. Yeah, but what I would do is I always make sure kuti right. I know kuti vana the way and shall win. I'm a second ball most of the time, especially kind of durwa. It's around the center circle. There are 10 yards either way. Is but I don't know where I hip hop. So when people see me doing that and I play 90 minutes, they wonder, "Mdara fit 90 minutes." Akangwara manch. Vani energy. Kana 60 jendenda kuti boys double. Because you're now playing with clever players who are taking you out of your comfort zone. Yawa builder iwewe. You see, so experienced players tend to get away with murder a lot of times. Zvakafanana even right now chaiyo katarisa na Casemiro you know I know use experience yake to be able to play there, but because he wins balls and all that, no one questions much about the fact that push forward sometimes as he should be. Push kuno pressure even you know further forward as well than he should be. But as you know arimo munomuona achitenderera in the middle there and they say you know he's there, he's fit. If you then watch Casemiro Real Madrid, ukatarisa the way yaanotamba now the way yaanotamba, you see zvasiyana. Yeah. But he's still capable, but he don't do enough. But people don't really see that he don't do enough. Does it explain?
I hope it explains to them. I'll post a full clip for this because yeah, a lot of people without knowledge come and they say match fit
I worried about even Musona. I wasn't surprised I worried about him because I wanted the boys in days he's capable of getting us something. But I thought it's too much to ask Musona to play in a 3. It was too much to ask because shift knows because you have to remember can only midfield 3, especially even when attacking midfielder. Uchanidwa kuita a bit of work without the ball, like catch your breath, to win a ball. We're expecting you to be further forward near our striker. Yeah. So imagine what you're asking of him. Yeah. And he's no longer that spring chicken yangar gudar. You're asking for too much. And that's the reason why I think Pani Pandagaita Jazoti articulate you know, if I was the coach and I want Musona in there and Daimisa is a front 3, Domisa left side because it's right footed. I know going to go. But what you do now, you're not playing him. He's not a left winger. You've put him left there because you want 3 midfielders, but you've put him left to go where he's going to hit. Yeah. But now the players, an important job is the 3 players in the middle because kind of fullback Bomba forward. You expect my midfielders in year 3 could shift. Bona 7-8 says right
Shifted
Liverpool.
left.
The Liverpool
Yeah.
win league. Salah
Yeah.
Miro, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to go shifter.
They'll shift to the right.
They'll
Yeah.
shift to that side to stop that fullback. You're not expecting Salah to come down, to come too deep, because like we are too deep. We are into our attacking third, and that's exactly what you would do with Msona. But to then ask him to play in a 3, that was too much. And so people were being surprised that he was being substituted. And I'm thinking, you do not know how glad that man is to be coming off. You have no idea how happy he is to come off, because he'll be blowing.
Yeah. And it showed today when he was left out. The intensity was too much for him. Yeah. Guys, do you have any other words? Anything on your heart? Anything
Well,
else?
I don't know
you're
about you
thinking?
guys, but I've got 5 days off, so I'm having my drink and
That's a copper bag. It's too light for you.
Nah, that's me. You see, I've never, because I respected my game that much. Football is the reason why I never really became a heavy drinker. I always was a social, because even in my 40s, I still respected my body. That I wouldn't. I would eat right. I would, drink right. I would do everything right, because you can never, someone who is very professional, you can't take the professionalism out of them. It's so difficult. It's like I'm cheating myself if I don't do things, in a professional way. So I would even expect, even when I'm managing, I wouldn't go out when we've got a game tomorrow because I'm not playing. Because I'm thinking, why would I be doing things that I don't allow players to do? You see, so it's the same. So I always, respected the game, whereby everything done, it was professional. But I think the most important thing that I always, say, and sometimes I wonder why people don't get it. I've always said I take the mick out of myself when it comes to my transition from Zimbabwe football to English football. People should be listening to what I say in the context that I'm taking the mick out of myself, because I'm saying I learned football here. I never learned football from Zimbabwe. And there I am. I played Premier League, football in Zimbabwe. I played for under 17, and before I came here, I hardly knew a lot, from a tactical point of view, from a system point of view. I came here when I was 26, and I'm thinking I know it all. You're thinking 26 experience there. You're thinking I know the game. And then I come here and I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'm learning. I'm learning far too many things. It's like I'm actually in the academy being taught, how to play football. And it's surprising, because you're thinking, at my age, how can I not know this? How can I not know that? How can I know this? And this is the delusion that's there in our country, where people think, oh yeah, this player, he plays for Scotland, so he should be.
Should we address this thing? I think there's a viral video, Oliver, when you was, I think we were talking about the option at number 9, and Oliver mentioned that. I think we were saying that against Egypt, we're going to be in a low block because we're going to have less possession, and that's exactly what happened. We had less possession, and I think Oliver was running down like the forwards that we have.
Yeah.
And Oliver was saying, we have Prince Dube. He's not really much of a target man. I think it was proven today he's not a target man. And then he mentioned Bill Antonio, he mentioned Wadi.
I think the word frame was used, yeah? Am I right? Yeah.
Yes. And Oliver mentioned that the only striker that we have who has got a frame to pull out his shoulders and bring out his chest and hold the ball
is Bonnie.
In that situation is Bonnie. And yeah, there's been hundreds and thousands of comments on that saying Hasiwe Bora Fremino Tambachi, and people start bringing up names like Yamao,
Messi.
Start bringing names like Messi. But look at Tyra Messi. I don't even want to go there. Look at Messi, like the lower body strength Yana and the upper body strength Yana. They start bringing names like Iniesta. and stuff. And we were saying, no, we're talking about a target
Yes,
man, a number 9.
Number 9.
Yes. And I've asked a number of people, okay, give me one team in the English Premier League right now, which plays a low block, which plays with less possession, which plays with a number 9 who's not physical. Not even one was brought.
I'll actually do it better than you've said, because you've said a team that plays low block. Yeah, no, don't
Any
don't use
team
find any team in the Premier League that doesn't have a big number 9
with frame.
with frame. Find me one club, because you will fail to find one. From if you just think of any club, you say Fulham, you're looking at what's his name, the one who had an operation. Yeah,
Jimenez.
Raul, yeah.
Jimenez. You go to Man City, you got Haaland. You go to Manchester United, you got Sesko. You go to
Bentley,
Chelsea, you've
Lyle
got
Foster.
every team, every single team has got someone who's got a frame.
Yeah.
Who's got a big frame, because it's needed. It's needed. So all this, about thinking, honestly, how can you think that you're actually going to play the ball to chest height to Prince Dube and or Bill Antonio and all that? And even Maswanhise, yeah, and expect these big lumpy centre backs, are grappling with him, and he controls that ball and keeps it there. Never. Even Messi would not do it. But you know what? But what Messi will do, that's not a target man, because what he will do is he will just drop and on a half turn. If you're a target man, you're not on a half turn. If you're a target man, you've got back to goal. That's the difference. So sometimes people say things that they don't actually understand. Because I laughed my ass off, to think that people, when they were asked to give examples, they say Yamal is a target man, Messi is a target man. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. But like I mentioned, but we've had in Team Zimbabwe UK, we've had a lot of players who were coming from Zimbabwe just from they're playing in the Premier League in Zimbabwe, and they come straight here, because of COS and all that, yeah. And they want to play football. We say, we've got players who are coming from Triangle, Harare City, and all that, So yeah, our Team Zimbabwe team, is quite strong. We have them in tournaments. We're playing against our teams there, and maybe in group stages, because we've always been highly ranked. We're playing against lesser teams and all. We come out of it easy. That's on a Saturday. On the Sunday, now we're playing against, some of the teams there. And honestly, you would see that they show us up. And you're thinking, but guys, we've got lads who are playing in the Premier League in Zimbabwe. But we are so shown up, because these lads, just know how to play systems. They're not superstars or anything. You just can't get the ball off them. Because even if they don't always play together, they don't always train together, but the academy taught them one way of playing football, and it's a universal way, and they understand it because everyone played in those leagues. So it shows you now, what you're thinking. So I can guarantee you most Zimbabweans would say, even myself, I said, with how good I thought I was, I thought I could play for Liverpool. The money is there, given a chance, if I was born there, I would definitely play. And then you come here, you playing conference football, and you're struggling. You think, you bloody hell, I'm struggling, fifth tier from, from where I thought, I could play. You just realize that football is way backwards. And until now, the delusion remains, that even now, that's the reason why you see many local Zimbabweans, they will tell you that they would rather have local players than players who are supposedly playing in lower leagues. By lower leagues, I don't mean like, the Bonnies. I'm talking about say a player who's playing League Two, in UK. They actually think that he plays in a way too lower league, and they don't realize that player is got 10 levels above them. Lindlovu. If you see Lindlovu playing, you know what? He's a beast, and he knows how to play. He's a proper number 9. But guess what?
I think he was one thing that was missing today. you would have roughed them up, those Mbokas.
But then players like that, you say that to most Zimbabweans, they will tell you, nah, we don't need that. We've got our local players, if they're playing League Two. I told you about the question I asked Nies here when Nies came here, and I said, at what level do you think, players should be coming to the Zimbabwe national team? And they said it should be like top three, like top two leagues, like Premiership, Championship, or even when you're talking about the Spanish and all that on the Italian leagues, they should be high. And I said, yeah, but you've got players coming from Zimbabwe, and they said they played top level. And I said, but top level in Zimbabwe is nowhere near some of the leagues. And the week after, it was towards the end of the season. So he basically was dissing even League One here. And the 1 or 2 weeks after, and the season finished, and 4 of his players in the national team were relegated into League One because Chirewa was playing was on loan at Huddersfield, Galloway at Plymouth, Renault Motor at where was Renault Motor?
Was it Cardiff, I think.
Cardiff, and Nakamba at Luton. 4 Zimbabweans. So I was thinking, I thought, if I had seen him again, I would say, so are you not going to pick 4 of your players now because they play in League One? You see, this is how delusional even someone like him, was.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, do you have any last words? Anything burning?
Nothing burning. We just hope that we start seeing developments from where we are right now. See, chinhu chinogara chichindimara about our football is lack of progress. Tinoramba chitenderera panzvimbo 1 all the time. It's like we are making 2 steps forward and 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. You see, there was a time when Zifa was under Leo Mugabe, and we actually thought that the management or the administration wasn't good. But comparing, I would rather bring back that administration for nationals because maybe we had the best, not the best. We had something which was good enough, but we didn't realize it. But because zvakazouya handiti kwakazomboita zvinonzi yanga iri committee yakambenge iripo normalization committee
Abnormalization.
nekuti they had been found out, they had been called out once right apapasi right. So and then tobva tadzinga munhu for that. Izvozvo zvinhu izvo zvitoramba zvinoita kuti tirambe tichitenderera in circles in our football. Football will never develop. Toda bhora rinoenda mberi. Totakaona kuti takambotaura nyaya yeprogression kuti taakufanira kuona vana padera vana Sean Fusile vachipinda mutimu, you see, but zvinhu zvakadaro hazvisi kuitika. Fusire never played a single game in this tournament.
In the championship.
Padera played a few minutes. I don't know how many minutes he played, but he didn't last the full game. Tinoda vapfana vakadaro. Malita Vaziva is not even in the squad. No future. Those were valid points. Haachafanira kudzoka imomo, but you see, nemacoach edu tinoona kuti Nakamba is the first name on the next team sheet. If we find what is causing that, if you find what is causing us to stick with players we clearly know are not good enough, I can see it as a fan. Definitely a coach can see it as a coach. But why is he picking him out, picking him for matches? Like today, Atambire,
he couldn't even sub him.
Yeah, he couldn't even sub him.
Jonah.
So zvinhu zvakadaro izvozvo it baffles you. You don't understand kuti chii chiri kumbonyatsoitika, but until zvagadziriswa tinoita izvo zvandataura zviya zvekuti 2 steps backwards, 1 step forward.
Cancelo, any last word?
No. Everything is the same. Develop going forward. I want to see a change. That I want to there is a chance. And the roots are there, they are clear, they are not short cousin.
Yeah. Thank you. Malcolm.
Yes, there are no shortcuts in football, like my brother Cancelo said. Even if you give these players 20 million each, they're not going to win a game. They're not fit. Let us invest in that, please, moving forward.
All right. Okay, Visa, you're back. Anything?
Yeah. I was here. I was listening. I didn't want to eat whilst or live. I'm always on the go. Yeah. Now, what I could just say to you is at some point, we'll talk. I think we need this to die down, but I have full information now, and it's not
Okay.
gossip because the way that information came from, it came directly from the person who actually spoke to the person.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't name names, but I know exactly 100% what happened with Maswanhise for him not to play. But we'll talk about it. But I think it's just too soon. Sometimes you need to let things die down.
We need to let it die down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully
but,
in future we can get some of these boys to come and just have a short chat and we see what happens.
Yeah.
We promise that Pinto fire will just
what?
that we promise that Skuzopinza and Upper Fire will be gentle with them.
Ngavasire politics dzebhora isusu hapana ngavangoya vangoita zveanalysis chete. Mukada kutedzera isusu munopedzisira makuwanda.
One. Anyway, thank you guys, and to the audience and to whoever who will be watching us. When we discuss about players or when we discuss situations in the game, what we do is just analysis. We just analyze situations. We all love football. We don't have anyone that we hate. We don't have anyone that we love more than any other. We just love the Zimbabwe national team, all of us. So whatever we say, we don't have anyone's agenda. We are not paid by anyone. We are self-funded. So don't worry, all our discussions will be respectful and we'll continue to...
Nothing personal.
Yeah, it's nothing personal.
Nothing
we love
personal,
you all.
indeed.
Yeah, it's nothing personal. Yeah, so I think we'll go in the background, then we'll see what we can do for the rest of AFCON since our host is out. I guess we'll adopt a team or we'll adopt a stage, then we'll be coming out probably end of week to discuss some of the stuff.
I'm just disappointed Cape Verde are not there.
H, my baby.
and I can make a promise as well. I can make a promise that we'll probably bring them. Hopefully by the end of the tournament, we would have brought in 2 very interesting people in football.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you, Cancelo, and everyone else who was here earlier. And to the audience, thank you.
Yes.
Keep the comments coming. Yeah. Thank you,
Cheers.
guys.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you,
Cheers.
guys.
Bye.